Good luck in race control, you two.
Thanks, mate. We'll hang around. I'll just drag us out.
Great.
A very good evening, everybody. Nice to have you company wherever you're tuning in, all around Australia, or indeed the world, on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club across Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Welcome to night 5 of week 11. Yeah, I know. It's overtime like we've never had it before. A full week's worth of it. And what a week it's been. The GSRC Interclub Challenge against the boys from SRW on Wednesday night with a successful outing. Now the curtain falls on the final round of the Indycars and the last of the Indycar offerings throughout the course of 2024 on the platforms of the GSRC. This is the final round of what has been a 10-week campaign. The Indianapolis 500 kilometre from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the famous Brickyard in Speedway, Indiana. Of course, 2.5 miles, 4 kilometres, 125 laps around here is, of course, ladies and gentlemen, 5/8 of the real race of what you'd see on the last Monday of May. And, of course, we've got some 500 kilometres as opposed to the 805 that would be the extra 75 laps on offer. We haven't got enough time up our sleeve tonight. We've all got early alarms tomorrow. No. The whole reason is that we've been doing 60-minute races throughout the course of the season, 65 minutes. We've extended the clock to an hour and 40, and we reckon 125 laps is about the most we'll get in. I'm Zach Caban. Joe Baldwin's here alongside me. Josh Zuno and Tim Watson are on double duty and race control tonight. We're looking forward to their insights as we go, because if they've got no work to do, they're going to come in here and hang out with us. And then, of course, if you think 500Ks tonight is, you know, a workout, Sunday, a few of our members and a couple of old commentary partners, namely Scott Rankin and yours truly, are lining up for the Logitech Pro Invitational League Series Bathurst 1000 as well. So there's a lot of virtual racing to look forward to in the middle of this opening month of spring. And of course, there's a lot happening tonight because we've also got NRL and AFL preliminary and semi-finals underway. So we'll stay across all of those as we go. Boys, good evening. Welcome. There's the lay of the land. A little on 4 kilometres. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway, 27 degrees. The track temperature, 23. The ambient. Beautiful conditions here for 10:30 in the morning. And we've got 1 minute and 40 before we're going to see cars on the grid. Not the full 11 rows of 3, but we've got 28 cars in the server. And I reckon at least 26 starting, boys. This is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. It's a two-way fight for the championship, but there's a lot of genuine, outright potential race winners in this field tonight. Joe, good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening, Zach. This is one we've been chomping at the bit to get to. Unfortunately, the crowd strike put us a week out, but yeah, it's been a fantastic week with the GSRC. We'll get to that in a moment. So, what a way to cap off the season. Maybe a little bit late, but who doesn't like Indycar at the home of Indianapolis? It's certainly going to be a great race tonight, and yeah, we've. One of the ring-ins is in, so he's spent a bit of time in the booth with me, and Nick Fodiatis, he's got a hall pass tonight, so he's got the hands rubbed together, and he's out there, he's warmed the tyres up, warmed up the brakes, and he is into it.
And the good thing about this race is it can be won from just about anywhere on the grid, depending upon how luck falls your way or not. There's the championship standings. Aiden with weight 41 points clear of Adam Lavis. And Aiden's got drop round points to fall back on, as does Adam. But it's simple. We know that Adam's got proven form on this oval. Aiden, if he crashes out, and Adam nets a seriously positive possible result here, because we know full well that there's extra bonus points on offer tonight and extra championship points on offer. That could still go either way. Fred Kahn 258, Chris Noble 222, 221 for Paul Wood, Eduardo Zamora 202, and Dave Oliver 200 make up the top 7. Dave Oliver has put it on third position on the grid, and he only jumped in the server about 3.5 minutes ago. We've got 28 cars about to line up on the grid here. We'll get to that for you in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. They should be lining up on the main straight, ready for a full roll-up and form and go. 125 laps, 100 minutes, whichever comes first. Dylan Walker on pole position here. Look at the times. I mean, have a look at that. Top 10 covered by 0.08 of a second. It's Dylan Walker, Daniel Benefield, Dave Oliver, Adam Johnson, David Baz, Daniel Yeaman, Julia Mookie, Aiden Luthwaite. So there's the first of the championship contenders. And then, of course, Trent Allen and Fred Kahn making up the top 10. The next row of cars include Aaron Russell, Phil Otto, Bevan Moyes and Nick Fodiatis slipped back to 14th in the end, only a 10th off pole position. That's how tight it is in the early stages here at Indianapolis. But we know full well that things will change here as the night rolls on. The field will spread out. Because if we've got 14 cars going for it on the final lap, it'd be Formula V-esque, and I don't know if my voice box would cope with that. Dale Jeffries, Russ Green from 8, Liam Haycock, Adam Lavis from 9, Greg Heaney, Stephen Crediton from 10. From 11, that's where you're going to find Tristan Koch and Chris Noble from 12, Sam Katakazinas and Eduardo Zamora. Then Kurt Normanson, Sam King and Brett Bradbury will make up this field, unless Michael Ladder joins us late in the piece. Tim Watson, Josh Zuto. We can't go to Josh Zuto at the moment. Tim, good evening to you. You've got invested interest here with the Whiskey Business Boys out there on the circuit, of course, but you are one of 2 men in charge of race control tonight, and no doubt you'll be busy.
Good evening, Zach. Good evening, Joe. Yeah, well, good to see one of the Whiskey Business Boys get up the front there and win the race, and good luck to Aidan and Adam in the fight for P1 in the championship. Hopefully Josh and I won't be too busy in race control, but we'll see what happens.
Indeed. There they are. Oh, actually, well, there you go. We're halfway around the back straight. I didn't see that one coming. We're halfway around the back straight, ready to get the green flag and go. Normally it's a full one lap roll and form and go, but not the case here. There's a legend who's been a little bit beaten up this week by way of having some wisdom teeth removed. Trent Lavis, good evening to you. Nice of you to join us. No doubt cheering on his brother from home there in recovery mode at the moment. Hopefully the jelly and ice cream serving him well too. So Dylan Walker and Daniel Benefield will bring this to green. We've got a lot to discuss throughout the course of the next 100 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We will want to go back and revisit Wednesday night at some point as well. But first, we must get to the business at hand, and that is the final round of what's been a captivating and compelling Indycar series. 8 different winners in 9 races, and no reason why we can't make that 9 in 10 tonight. But whatever happens here, it's between Adam Lavis and Aiden Luthwaite for the title. The green flag's about to fly. Let's go racing at the Brickyard. The final round of the Ride to Indy series underway. They fan out through turn 1. Not the traditional 3x3 that you would see for the Indianapolis 500 mile. Instead, 2x2 for the Indianapolis 500K. So across the backstretch for the first time. That's a very good start. Dylan Walker, Daniel Benefield, Adam Johnson, Dave Oliver and Daniel Yeaman in the top 5. And looks as though everybody's got away safely, which is good. Stephen Crediton has joined the field from pit lane. Michael Ladder's a non-starter. And it looks as though we've got through the first lap without incident, unscathed, and that's just the way we like it.
These guys, they're racing smart at the moment, Zach. We've got a lot of laps to go.
At the moment being the key word, yes.
Yeah, at the moment. There's 124 laps to go. The last thing you want to be doing is buckling your car up in the first 4 or 5 laps of the race. You need to settle in, get in the groove, get your fuel trim sorted where you can... Obviously, when you're 3, 4, 5, 10 cars back in the line, you can turn your fuel level down. You can save your fuel. You don't have to lead from the front this early in the race. It's just about looking after your tyres, looking after your fuel level, and most of all, looking after the car. You've got to be there at the end of the race. Just don't have to race hard. It's like we're all the farm boys. You've got a lot of laps. Keep in line.
They're very tightly bunched at the moment. Oh, geez, there was a little bit of a slide and bobble deep in the pack there. But they got away with it as they stretch across the back straight for the 3rd time. Hello to Jackson Dial tuning in. It would have been nice to see him out on the circuit. Obviously, circumstances prevent that. We've got Sam Chapman, who we need to toast a little bit later on. He's not on the grid tonight. He's at the Sydney Cricket Ground. He should be here and I should be there, quite frankly, but that's another story for another day. Down the main straight we go. We ride on board with Dave Oliver. Down 2 spots on where he started. Trent Allen up 2 spots, making light work of Aiden Luke there on the outside. Luke tucks in to get the toe from Allen, trying to go around David Baz. Can't get the job done. So we're on to lap 4 of 125. We know that we are expecting, for those of you that are playing along at home, the memo, the mail that came through to me earlier in the week is that we are expecting something in the vicinity of, I love how clean and tight these guys are keeping it early on.
Great job.
We are expecting 7 pit stops throughout the course of the race. Green flag runs, we're expecting 16 to 18 laps maybe. I mean, if you're not deep in the pack, if you're not leading the pack and you've got a tow, you might be able to save a little bit along the way and stretch that out beyond that 16 limiter. But if that's if we're talking 16 laps, that's 16, 32, 48, 64, 80. That's number 5, 96 and 112, which would mean a slightly shorter stint for the run home. There'll be a couple of guys here, no doubt, hoping, Joe, that they can eke that out a little bit, buy an extra 1 or 2 laps, or, better yet, the cautions fall at the right time for them. We know also that we are expecting a maximum of 2, a minimum of 1 caution period tonight.
Yeah, definitely. It's a long race. Like hopefully the guys get through, and we have 27, 28 guys there fighting it out on the last lap. Like that's what you want to see. No one gets damaged, but this is a real. Oh no!
Here we go.
It's lighting up.
Russ Green, Greg Heaney. Here's the first one of the night. Oh, Wooshka. Greg's had a massive shunt. That is a monster. Greg's riding the wall. You can't be doing that, Greg.
There, Greg. Oh, wow. That was huge.
And unluckily for them, normal race rules apply, Joe. So no cautions in the first 10 minutes or 20 laps and none in the last 20. And unfortunately for Greg, it's a long way back from there. Holy moly.
Awkward. That's
That's a big shunt.
They'll get wave arounds. Like when the yellows do come, there'll be wave arounds. So hopefully they're not dropping too much time. First thing I would have done there, tow, get back to pits, try and get in and get back into the groove. There's going to be at least 1, could be even 2 safety cars. If you go 2 laps down, that'll get you back on the lead lap for the run home. So now those guys need to get back in the race and just lap and stay out of the trouble until the yellows come around.
And you know what the interesting thing is here? I mean, that happened towards the back of the field. So we've still got 21 cars on the lead train at the moment. Just extraordinary, the early intensity here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It doesn't look like any of these guys are looking to save fuel or anything at the moment. Tristan Koch pulling out to one side. And he's going to drop to the back of this train. Stephen Crediton in 22nd spot is another 10 seconds down the road. Kurt Normanson a lap down. Dale Jeffries a lap down. Sam Katakizinas 2 laps down, but it looks like Katakizinas is parked up and going nowhere. Actually, it looks as though, Joe, it's showing no pit stops next to Katakizinas' name. I've got a feeling that he's had a packet loss and dropped out altogether. Gone. Yeah, there it is. See you later. Thanks for coming. So, Internet 1, Sam 0 tonight. And Greg Heaney's still on pit lane, rejoining the race now, but he's going to do so 2.5 laps down. And Russ Green is still stationary on pit lane after 5 laps. And he's been there for 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So he's lost the better part of 3 laps, and that's about to be 4. Trent Allen has made his way to the front here. Not mucking around. Trent Allen worked his way through the competition to lead this race ahead of Dylan Walker, Daniel Benefield, and last week's winner, Daniel Yeaman. Phil Otto makes up the top 5. He's up 7 spots. So too is Liam Haycock. But the biggest move of the night so far, I believe, is Trent Allen up 8. Oh, I stand corrected. Brett Bradbury up 9 spots down there in 18th place. Oh, Indianapolis, the Indycars, Friday night. It just feels like the perfect combination. And an extra half an hour of racing for good measure. No one's complaining with regards to that. We put the idea out to them a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? Here's Adam Johnson. Have a look at Jono. making a cameo appearance and doing beautifully in 6th place at the moment. Joe, it's interesting, isn't it? We put the feelers out a couple of weeks ago. Do we cut the season at 9 weeks? Do we leave it and go with the full distance 10 and just do an extra week? Do a week of overtime per se? Do we extend the Indianapolis finale instead of just having it the normal race distance like what we used to back in the good old days? Everyone voted for more is better at the Brickyard and 125 laps. So, I mean, you talk about the Indianapolis 500. If you're going to break it down into 25 lap increments, so we're talking 5/8. So we're actually talking somewhere in the vicinity of 312.5 miles race distance here tonight, instead of the usual 500. But that's what gets us to 500k, 125 times 4. So if you're wondering what it is in mileage, if you want to talk in imperial terms, and we want to talk as though we're in America, because, well, let's face it, virtually we are. But yes, 312.5 miles tonight.
That's a long stint, but when you're doing
Very.
yeah, what are they probably doing? 290 mile an hour? What are they doing? 260 mile an hour? I think?
230 mile an
there
hour.
we go. I wasn't sure. Hang on, here we go. We'll do. Let's grab a dashboard. There we go. So
358 kilometres an hour.
That's in
that is extraordinary speed.
There we go.
That's magnificent.
Down the straight. So they're actually in a fair old bit of a hurry. So it's not going to take that long for those 500 k's to tick along. But
and in the tow as well. Sorry, I thought I was just going to jump in when you finished your point, but you pulled yourself up, Joe. When you look at the tow, that straight line speed's going to intensify. That's going to increase. So I'm not sure that Aaron Russell, who's in the train, he'd probably be going faster than Trent Allen, that's pulling everybody along at the moment. 368, 370 kilometres an hour for Aaron Russell at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. So it's got, I mean, if we have a look, would you like to be Trent Allen and having that in the rearview mirror? You got, what have we got?
Yeah,
20,
no thanks.
There's 22 cars on the lead
The
lap.
big target on his back, all the pressure in the world.
So, you know, he makes a slightest mistake and he's off for a trip in an ambulance because
everybody's in trouble.
He won't survive. With 22 monsters bearing down. Was that a bit of smoke in the background? It was. I know. What's happening here? Fred Kahn's in the pits.
Brett Bradbury's in the pits as well. Brett Bradbury, Fred Kahn and Sam King all on pit road. What's happened here, please? No! Fred Kahn's got into Adam Lavis, the championship contender. And he's on pit road as well. We've had a monster shot at the final quarter. Wheel-to-wheel contact, Fred Kahn and Adam Lavis. There was no love lost in between those two in St. Louis a few weeks back. And Adam Lavis is crawling along pit road. And that is a sting, a spanner in the works of the championship fight. Look at that. It's wiped out 5 or 6 cars. Unfortunately, one of them, Bevan Moyes, missed the cut to get into pit lane. Brett Bradbury's been able to come through. Adam Lavis as well.
And
they're all on pit road. And this is a game-changing, race-defining, championship-defining moment.
Championship implications there are huge. I don't know what to say. That was,
Oh dear, and it's not lost on anybody that was. And I don't think I should be saying this in present company because race controller here as well. Here we go. Start of the pit stops. Pit lane activity at the end of lap 16, exactly what we expected. So pit lane becomes a hub of activity. Dylan Walker, Daniel Benefield, Liam Haycock, Eduardo Zamora, Tristan Koch, all to pit road at the end of that lap. And Daniel Yeaman takes up front running from Phil Otto and Adam Johnson and Aidan Luthwaite. Luthwaite gets an extra lap. Does Adam Lavis? No, he's still stuck on pit road. So that is game over for Adam Lavis because it's taken him all this time to creep along pit lane to get the fast repair potentially.
No fast repair. His car should have been repaired by now.
Yeah, no fast repair. Are you kidding me?
Oh, no.
Oh, Adam Lavis's championship is done. That is so unfortunate. And here come the rest of them. Yeaman, Luthwaite, Milky, Noble and Baz. I was going to say, Tim Watson, Whiskey Business Stablemate, was in the booth with us a moment ago. They've ducked down to race control. Oh, trouble on pit lane. Are you kidding me? Jeez.
Oof, who was that?
So it was nice and controlled for what, 10 laps? And then it's just all hell's broken loose in the last 6 or 7. What's interesting here, Joe, when you look at this, is that it's not lost on anybody that the 2 championship combatants were from Aussie Races and Whiskey Business Racing. And unfortunately, it was contact from a Whiskey Business Racing car on Adam Lavis, who has got back out there, but he's now down in the 25th position. And is now down, what are we looking at here? He's on lap 15, the leaders are on lap 18. He is 3 laps down. My goodness me, what a defining moment.
That's almost game over. Unless there's an absolute miracle for him tonight, that's game over. Now, I don't know, did Baz...
well, if anyone could do it.
Yeah, who was it that he was actually involved with in that one? Was it Fred Kahn? I think it might have been Fred Kahn.
That was Fred. So keep your eyes on the bottom of the screen too, folks, because Race Control have already handed out a couple of penalties. Russ Green got one of them, but it's not going to matter when he's running last in the order at the moment in 27th. That's actually... Katakazinas has been able to rejoin as well, 3 laps down. Katakazinas has managed to been able to manage to log back into his computer and get back out there. And he only lost 3 laps in the process. But we're back to a full field all of a sudden. But by gee, there's some walking wounded.
Oh, that's...
Amen has been passed by Walker. That was brilliant from Dylan.
Yeah, I'm absolutely heartbroken for Adam. Like, he's had such a wretched run this season in different championships with...
Hasn't he?
Yeah, just getting caught up in licenses found in cornflake packets. I'll leave that one at that. I won't elaborate, but he's just had such wretched luck. Like in the Interclub we had the other night, with a lap to go, he got just caught up. Someone spun in front of him and he had nowhere to go. I think he lost a podium position in one of the championships over the grand final week. Got caught up with somebody else's incident. Yep. Yeah, he's one of the unluckiest guys in the club, and he races so clean with everybody. Like Adam takes a real hard toll on himself if he causes incidents. Like he really takes it personally and feels bad about it, but. He just seems like a magnet for other people's incidents at the moment. So hopefully he can find that black cat, nurse it back to health and send it back to its owner and have a better run in season B before right. So Yeaman's back to 5th. So I would say, he's smoky for the night. I know he won last week, but I'm starting to think he's smoky for the night is absolutely Dan Yeaman. He was leading. I reckon he's just backed off to save a bit of fuel. So watch him at the end of the race. And Nick as well, because Nick was in that pack that went an extra lap over everybody else. So good fuel mileage for Nick. He'll be happy running where he is. And we've got Dale Jeffries and Kurt Amundsen in the pits for another round.
And we're already at that 21 lap marker, Joe, lap 22 of 125. So now competition cautions come into play as well. We know that there'll be at least 1, maybe 2 tonight, depending upon how this race plays out. It will be at the discretion of race control. If those 2 incidents that we just saw happen between laps 10 and 20 had happened during the competition caution window, which is lap 20 to 105, we likely would have seen one of those competition cautions deployed and called upon, but not to be. Liam Haycock leads this now from Hayden Luthwaite, Dylan Walker, Daniel Bannerfeld and Daniel Yeaman. David Baz is 6th and Adam Johnson is 7th. Phil Otto finds his way into 8th place. Trent Allen back to 9th now after his stop on lap 15, and Dave Oliver rounds out the top 10. Safety point licence penalty for Fred Kahn at the back of lap 14 on the back of that incident with Adam Lavis.
Yeah, so
doesn't bring Adam's championship aspirations back, but it might be something.
Yeah, well, one of the things I guess we can't overlook is Fred's sitting third in the championship at the moment, and Adam obviously is second, fighting with Hayden Luthwaite. I mean, he's got what's he got? A 82 point buffer over Fred at the moment. So he'd probably be safe even if he's just got to finish and get some points. I think he'd probably be safe to hold his second in the championship. But
Oh.
yeah. Oh,
Okay.
Noble
Chris
recontact
Noble.
39.
Yeah. Julian Mookie. So there's an incident we obviously haven't seen yet, but it's been called into race control and they've acted accordingly. Good evening, Tim Watson and Josh Zudo. You guys have been kept incredibly busy so far, as we may have or may not have predicted, as we hit the 20% mark of the race, lap 25 of 125.
Yeah, been a few lack of control, kind of, knock-on effect incidents, and yeah, the one that we just handed out was a little bit, I don't know, silly. So in the pits, as we know, you do clip when you're on the inside lane, kind of in the pit bays kind of section, but I'm not too sure if Chris thought that he would clip through Julian there, but yeah, basically he was alongside, kind of had a third of his car up and just turned hard left to go into his pit bay and destroyed Julian, unfortunately. Yeah, it could have been a bit of a misunderstanding with the whole iRacing physics thing, but yeah, unfortunately, had to give a penalty down for that one.
And he's doing his drive through as we speak. There we go. He's running through the pits, so he's taking the penalty on the chin. And I know Chris. I know how competitive he can be with a lot of things. So he's certainly he'll have the bit between the teeth now to get back up and running that front pack.
There's a guy that ran out of luck once or twice the other night in the Super Formula Light in a club challenge.
Yes,
we'll get back to that once we get a chance to catch our breath here, because this pace is relentless at the front. Liam Haycock, we've seen him improve throughout the course of the season, having a dream run tonight, up 16 spots already to lead this thing. As I said at the start, you can win from just about anywhere here at the Brickyard, and that would prove it from 17th on the grid. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are going to be looking forward to this first competition. Caution coming along by way of getting a lap back. Tristan Koch now back on pit lane as well. So it's the end of his second stint. Yeah. Good luck, survivors. Situational awareness is good to have. That is Sam Katakazinas parked up and done for the night. We know that he had a network issue, but now it looks as though that's a terminal problem for Katakazinas' night, and it is done, and it's over and abruptly ended prematurely, which is unfortunate. That was great driving from Benefield.
Big move.
So he goes to third. Trent Allen back behind him. Dylan Walker. Yeah, you're right. So Trent Allen fourth in the queue. Had a deep dive on Dylan Walker and Daniel Yaden. Got by both of them. Daniel Benefield, next target for him. Hayden Luthwaite still sitting there patiently, holding on second at the moment. Liam Haycock leads the field, 9 hundredths of a second, a tenth of a second the margin here at the Brickyard. Fastest laps of the race so far, Dale Jeffries, who's down a lap at the moment, 40.289. We're not worried about the Hollywood numbers that we saw in qualifying a short while ago. Our mate Nick Fodiatis just getting by Aaron Russell, moving to 10th on the inside of both Russell and Oliver. Good run for Nick so far. We're riding on board with David Baz. Now we're riding on board with Nick. There he is down the inside. Whoa, look at that pursuit from Nick. That was cheeky on Phil Otto. Goes into ninth. Now down the back straight again. Let's have a look. What's going on here? This is bizarre what's going on here.
Huh?
Nick's dropped the hammer and said, you know what, bugger this, I want to lead. I want to lead from the front. And he's got the chance to do it. He's up to fifth on that lap alone. I know the way to the front, boys. Follow me. Let's go. And Sam King in 15th position comes to pit lane this time by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers stand to get back onto the lead lap if a caution was called now. But there's the likes of Greg Heaney, Adam Lavis and Russ Green that are still 2 laps down, 4 in Russ's case. And Katakazinas is parked up and done for the night. Your thoughts so far, Josh Zudo? You've had to hand out a couple of penalties, I understand.
Yeah, mate. No, I think we're in for a long race, and I think people are relatively settled. As I said, I just think there's maybe some people who didn't run enough laps potentially on, tyres. I'm looking at one person in particular that I believe is double stinting a set of tyres early, and working out how hard that is exactly. But yeah, no, it'll be a good night, I think, and yeah, we'll see how it goes when it gets to the pointy end. Nothing kind of matters until the last run to the finish line.
And by the way, I take no responsibility for leading you astray because they're not cinnamon donuts at your end. There's a few different flavours there. Talk me through that, please.
I don't know. My wife put them in front of me, mate, and I was just like, I wasn't going to eat them until you said donut, and now I can't help myself.
Okay, mate.
Well, I'm in the RC booth. I feel like a policeman at this point, so we may as well be.
Why not?
You're not a
Trucker, who's
policeman.
impressed you most so far?
Probably Nick. That run he had a couple of laps ago, he's up 10 positions from his start. Trent Allen, solid. He's up 8. But yeah, just sneaking around there. I still believe that Dan Yeaman's your smoky after that last round of pen. We've seen his performance last week with the Indycar, and we know it's something he loves, but at the point, probably the way he's driven up through the pack is Nick, who's just moved to third. So, Trent Allen's in the pits. So Nick's in third now. He loves this place. He's good at keeping the car clean and tidy and saving fuel. So yeah, Nick's he's doing a good job at the moment.
Indeed he is. And you're watching Friday Night Motorsport for the final time this term on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club and the swan song for IndyCar in 2024. Of course, the real world thing wrapped up early hours Monday morning from Nashville. We've now brought the curtain down on our series here tonight. And of course, the countdown is on to the start of Turn 4, which won't feature IndyCar, but instead the Radical SR8's in this slot on a Friday night throughout the course of Turn 4. And the term itself gets underway Monday week, Monday, September 30. Looking forward to your company for all of that. We'll take you right through till Friday, December 6. Maybe beyond, actually, because our mates at SRW want a rematch in the week after that. Now, in the meantime, Rick Fodiatis leads this race. Aidan Luthwaite's going with him. Dylan Walker, Daniel Yeaman, they've all stayed out. We've just seen a second round of pit stops that time by. Daniel Benefield and Fred Kahn on pit road as we speak. Trent Allen as well. Now, Allen's lost a lap somewhere in there. So I'm not sure what's going on for Trent Allen. We need to catch up with Trent. That doesn't make a great degree of sense to me. Something's happened to Trent Allen. Has he had packet loss? Don't tell me.
No, he drove into the pits.
Do not tell me.
No, he actually drove into the pit. So whether or not something in real life's come up for him, I'm not too sure. As we got Aidan and Dylan Walker. Aidan Luthwaite, Dylan Walker in the pits. Another
genuine potential race-winning contender out of business. And it's been a race for it so far. Katakazinas is capable of winning on ovals. Nothing went his way tonight. Adam Lavis has had his misfortune. Now Trent Allen. Oh, geez. The chips continue to fall. Let the chips fall where they may, as they say. Here comes Nick Fodiatis to pit lane. So he dives to the pit lane at the end of lap 35. So it's been, so what's that, 17 and 18. So he's been able to get 18 laps out of one stint and 17 out of the other. Whereas we've still got Daniel Yeaman out there. This is the 19th lap of his stint. Aaron Russell, the 18th. Phil Otto, the 18th. Adam Johnson, the 18th. David Baz is on a 19th lap in this stint. Dave Oliver is on an 18th lap of this stint. So surely those guys are all coming to pit lane this time by. David Baz, you can see him looking to peel off already. No, there's actually, yeah, here we go. This is interesting. So Dave Oliver's going on. Oliver's going to go on and lead this from the front a little bit longer. But Yeaman, Russell, Otto, Johnson and Baz are all in. Lap 37 to 125. Interesting period of the race here. Nick Fodiatis will move up the order here when he returns past the start-finish line in just a few moments. Watch them top a shot, ladies and gentlemen, as the boys start to move bottom a shot. They're all heading down the main straight now. This is going to get very busy as those guys all head for pit exit and rejoin the circuit around at the exit of turn 2. Then we're going to get an indication as to where we are as far as race order is concerned.
Nick's got the momentum.
And Dave Oliver comes to pit lane.
Here we go.
Nick Fodiatis is going to be effectively third. good gap between Luthwaite and Haycock, then Fodiatis, but Liam Haycock continues to be the front runner here.
He's turning it on tonight. He's had a couple of rough weeks with early incidents and like just unfortunate touching a bit of grass at the road courses and getting involved in skirmishes early, but he's definitely put his foot forward tonight and he's impressed me. He's up 16 spots, so yeah, average top speed's probably 300. Oh, here you go. We're looking now. I think we go 371, 372, depending on the draft. So he's right. He's lifted. So the guys in front, I think, would be saving fuel. We've seen a couple of. I think what was highest we've seen about 372, wasn't it, Zach?
Yeah, about 372 kilometres an hour, but we're being asked what's the top average speed. So, caution. I was wondering, they were coming onto the main straight particularly slowly. Caution. So the first safety car of the night at the 28-minute mark of this race, and this spices things up dramatically, because why would you bother pitting now? You've only just pitted, literally in the last 3 laps for some of these guys. Liam Haycock would benefit from a stop here, but I don't think anyone else would. This is an interesting moment in the race. There will be some wave arounds. There will be some guys getting back on the lead lap. There'll be a few guys wishing that they were not more than 2 or not more than 1 lap down at least. Some of them that are 2-3 laps down. Yes, they're all going to get a lap back, but it's not going to be enough to be back in contention for some of these guys. Brett Bradbury, it looks as though he's up on the side. All out of business. Brendan Allen Lavis, the career of this, they're about to get a lap back. Brett Heaney's about to get a lap back. Kurt Nominson, and Tristan Kosh, they will all get back into the lead lap of the car race. Liam Haycock is on pit lane. Surely this time by, you would imagine, this is lap 8 of the stint from him. He would benefit the right, I reckon, from a top up here. And yes, he's straight onto pit road. Who follows? Oh, more than I would have thought.
Just about everyone.
Hayden Luthwaite and Nick Fodiatis stay out. Not surprised by that. Fred Carnops to stay out as well. And he only stopped on lap 33. And so just about everybody else is coming down pit lane.
So we should be close now. A lot of the cars that are laps down should get wave arounds now. So some of them cars that probably would have wanted to pit, but they'll keep at it. So get their wave rounds, get a lap back, and yeah, I'm sure some of those guys we've got trying to work out here how many laps down each different people are. So we got guys, I'm not sure, I can't work that out at the moment. Sorry, people. Zach might be better at working that out than I am.
I'll work out a couple of things in a moment for you, Joe, but in the meantime, I just want to let everybody know, halfway through the second quarter at the Sydney Cricket Ground, Swans 43 lead Port Adelaide 22. 21-point lead for the Swannies at the moment, but they must go on with it and hold on to it. Otherwise, Port Adelaide have a habit of making you pay. In the NRL, half-time, and despair for the Cowboys fans. They're in disarray at the moment. They are down 24-0 against the Cronulla Sharks in the first of the semi-finals in the NRL. Don't forget, we've got Bledisloe Cup Rugby Union tomorrow afternoon as well. Just having a look at some of these numbers here, Joe. What was it you wanted me to work out?
How many laps down Greg Heaney and Adam Maverick, Russ Green are?
So Russ was down, he was down 3, he's now down 2. Adam and Greg were down 2, they're now down 1. They've all got their wave by, they're coming back round, they'll join the back of the train next time by. Kurt Nominson, Stephen Credit and Tristan Kosh have all just got back onto the lead lap of the car race. So they'll give us 20 cars on the lead lap. 40.042 is the fastest lap of the race by none other than Nick Fodiatis. It's Aidan Luthwaite from Fodiatis, from Fred Kahn, Daniel Yeaman and Dylan Walker. we've got 85 laps to go. We've got, it's an 85 lap competition caution window. So the second of the competition cautions, if race control use the discretion to deploy it, will fall sometime between now and lap 105. I couldn't imagine that it would fall too close to this one unless we have a catastrophic incident and we need to clean things up. The lights are still on the safety car, so it looks as though we're going to go around one more time with that. What was interesting, the top speed and the average speed are two different things. So, yeah, 372 or 3 kilometres an hour was the fastest straight line speed we've seen. I think that was when we were riding with Aaron Russell. But I wouldn't be able to put it into an average for you with regards to the lap times to average speed. But I mean, we're running at, we've gone 40, this is the 41st lap. These laps are running a minute slower than regular race pace. So, I mean, if you take that away, oh, here we go, more pit stops. Daniel Yeaman, Dylan Walker, Aaron Russell to pit lane this time by. So too David Baz and Bevan Moyes. They've obviously thought, hang on, what have we got to lose here? Let's go in, let's chop up again, and let's take that extra bit of juice.
Adam's in as well.
Yeah, and let's extend this stint out. Now, if we're talking 85 laps, the minimum you're looking at is, well, 5:15 to 75. So these guys have got to do 17 lap stints home. If they want to make it from here, they will get assisted by a second caution potentially. That would help them. But yeah, that's a strange one for me. They've dived in so quickly after the first caution. Lap 42. It's a tricky one because now the goalposts have moved and changed, haven't they? So if we're going to restart lap 42, we're looking at pit stops no earlier than lap 57, lap 58. So then you're going 17, 18 laps from there, which is 75.6, which is then 92.3.4. So you're still going to be stopping it from here, aren't you?
Yeah.
So it's an interesting one.
I'll let you work the Zach.
Different strategy.
You're
Exactly.
better than I am.
Different strategy play is, yeah, it's really shaking things up here. But what we can tell you is, well, 40 laps is the 100-mile mark. So we've gone 100 miles already. The lights are out on the safety car. It's coming back to pit lane. We're about to go back racing at the Brickyard at the start of lap 42. So we've gone 110 miles. The race distance today is 312.5. That is by virtue of the fact that it is a 500-kilometre race. So by the time we get to the end of the first hour, we'll work out exactly how much speed we've covered, and that'll give you a rough idea of the average speed of the race, give or take a couple of laps behind the caution and what that means. Now look at Aiden Luthwaite pouncing off the restart to lead this field. Nick Fodiatis is content to follow him for the moment. But now Fodiatis, now this is interesting. This is interesting because we know that Nick's a team player and he's out there to help Adam Lavis in any way, which way, best way he can. But he knows full well that Lavis is a lap down on this field and needs to get back through. Stephen Crediton coming to pit lane. Needs to get back through and then get another lap back before he can start actually racing again. So what role will Fodiatis play here, trying to get back by, maybe lead this from the front and maybe just, you know, tow the field along with a slightly moderate tempo and hope that Adam Lavis can work his way through. Easier said than done. It's going to be a very challenging and tricky night for Adam Lavis from there. Fodiatis has now just lost out to Phil Otto. That makes the task even harder. Main straight. Otto goes to the front. Otto goes to the front. Sees his opportunity and pounces on Luthwaite. Stephen Crediton's on pit road on the tow rope again. Phil Otto leads to turn one. Luthwaite's been swapped. Fly in the wall. That's Nick in the wall. It's Fodiatis in the wall. Fenced in a big way at turn one. Was there contact? Or did he just get up high? Let's have a look at this. Oh. Bang. Oh, big shunt.
Oh, there was
huge.
contact.
There was definite contact, but who was at fault? We don't know. It was Eduardo Zamora, the other car involved, and Fodiatis is on the tow rope.
Got another look at it from a different view.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I didn't pick up who it was.
well, I'd argue that Nick was moving down and maybe just didn't sight the car on the inside.
Yeah, the car on the inside had a good head of steam. Nice, I think. Steve, no, he's just had enough.
Yep. So there's another retirement. They're dropping like flies.
Yeah, Nick's going to be filthy on that one. That'll be a tow job. There's no way he's going to get that one back. So that's going to, after the next yellow, that's going to put him in the same position where Adam is at the moment. So
Yep.
Nick will be devastated by that. It's, yeah, very unfortunate. It'll buff out, yeah, definitely, but not today.
But tonight is falling into the lap of whiskey business beautifully right here. Right here, right now, for Aiden Luthwaite in second. Second's enough. Second gets the job done. But all he had to do tonight was beat Adam Lavis, and he's doing that at the moment. But we know Aiden, we know he's a racer, we know that he'll go for it when the time is right, when the moment is right. But at the moment, it's quite interesting because he's got... we're riding on board with Aiden, but he's got one of his teammates in there in front of him riding side saddle. So is that, yes, that's Greg Heaney actually, bringing the, yes, look at that. Heaney's trying to get his lap back.
Trying to get his lap back.
Trying to get his lap back. Look at
Two cars in front
this.
of Aiden, but he's actually in second. So that's Greg trying to, as you say, get his lap back.
Tactical play. See, this is exactly what we were hoping that Nick Fodiatis was going to be able to help Adam Lavis achieve, but that went belly up very quickly. Now,
David Baz is in the
Luthwaite's
mix.
dropped to David Baz. Down the main straight we go. Oh, jeez.
Geez, I'll tell you
Oh, boy.
I don't know about you, but I'm starting to smell a bit of trouble.
Yeah, I'm smelling a big one coming.
Yeah.
A big one is brewing.
The guys just...
Although there's already been a couple of big ones tonight.
Yeah, but they just don't seem as settled as they did earlier in the race. So could be that people were on the second stint with a tyre and the tyre, like that grip's gone away a little bit. As Mav's making a move here, 3 wide. No, he's out of it. So, but just, I don't know, it just seems a little bit more frantic this time round since the restart. So...
Nick has got back out there, but he is 2 laps down, so that's curtains for him. And he was so chuffed to be able to go and race tonight, and it's all gone horribly wrong.
He was, yeah. It was a fair old hip and shoulder too, unfortunately. I didn't catch who the other car was involved.
Oh, big one at the back!
Oh.
Massive crash at the back! Not sure who it was.
Kurt
We'll pick up the number on that in just a moment. Kurt Nommensen's had an enormous shunt.
Oh, that was a big one.
That car is looking a terribly amount worse for wear than what it was 3 seconds ago.
What's caused that? Bevan Moyes passed him. But what's happened to Kurt? So
Nommensen now on the tow rope. Zamora still on pit lane. Aaron Russell coming in right now. Oh, no. So that was Aaron Russell that got caught up in that. That's why he's on pit lane now as well, because his front wing's gone.
Yeah, so a couple of the guys in front of him just got out of shape, and Kurt's had nowhere to go. So completely innocent in that one. Dave Oliver and Aaron Russell, I think, might have been the 2.
Yep. Correct.
And up the front here we got. Oh, hang on. We'll catch this one.
Let's have a look at David. Oh, David Baz.
Baz has got the lead.
He's right there.
This is his move for the lead.
Yep, and Phil Otto's just got him back as well. So that's a replay of David Baz taking the lead. But when we go back to live pictures, it'll be Phil Otto leading the field on lap 52. And that is a pit lane that's looking a hell of a lot more occupied than what it was a few moments ago, unfortunately. It's got occupants in the form of Katakazinas, Jeffries, Allen, Bradbury, Zamora. Crediton's parked up and done. Nommensen's in there now as well. And now look at Phil Otto and David Baz going for the lead. Julian Mookie, Adam Luthwaite. Greg Heaney's in there as well. What role has Liam Haycock got to play in this? Down on the inside, coming onto the main straight.
Greg Heaney's
Haycock's there trying to get by Heaney to then have a crack at Luthwaite. To turn one we go. We're at the 41-minute and 50-second mark, so 42 minutes gone. 43 minutes to go. We're as close, 63 minutes to go. We're as close to half-race distance as we're going to be because we're getting terribly close there with regards to lap times. 52 laps in the book and 63 to go. So we're almost at that crossover point.
These
73, my apologies.
guys are definitely getting spicy tonight. Aiden peels off for the pits.
Okay, there we go.
He might be like, reverse engineering his fuel or whatever, or he's just like, nah, these guys are crazy. I'm going to get some fuel. What he doesn't want to do is get involved in this, especially he knows there's been one yellow. There may be a second one, there may not be. That's up to the people in the other booth. But if there's not another one, he doesn't want to get involved in the incident because that'll put him a lap, at least a lap behind Adam. So the last thing Aiden wants to do is get involved. Smart move, pit, get out of it because those guys are spicy up front.
I apologise too, folks. I had 85 in my head for some reason because of that being the, as Fred Kahn and Tristan Koch now follow Aiden Luthwaite's lead and come to pit lane. I got caught up on my own sentence structure because I had 85 in the head because of the window for competition cautions and also when we were talking about that, the amount of laps to go at the time. So, yes, it's a 100-minute race and it's 125 laps, which means that 62 is the halfway, or 62 and a half is the halfway marker. So apologies for me getting a little bit off track there. Speaking of off track, I am parked up and I'm thinking possibly done as well. Kurt Normanson, that's an unfortunate way to end.
You have to unmute your mic, Kurt.
Is Kurt there and able to join us at the moment? No, not at the moment. Okay, we'll wait for him to unmute his mic. There he is. Mate, that's a horrible way to exit.
Still can't maybe, Kurt.
Yeah, I just had to find the right button. I forgot which one I found to push before. Yeah, no, going through laps down, I sort of just pulled the pin. It was just, didn't want to run around and ruin someone else's race if I made a mistake later on in the race after, if we get a second comp caution or not. So, just wanted to play it safe.
Pilato to the pits. Yeah, that looked like just a couple of guys in front might have got tangled up together a little bit, and when they got sideways, just left you nowhere to go. When it, you just rode a wheel and launched up into the fence, mate. Took all four corners off the car.
Yeah, but even if I hit the brakes, I would have just locked up and skated into them. I was just too close. I was off the throttle already watching them get together, but I just had too much pace and the slipstream still going through the corner, so it just sort of sucked me into it.
Yeah, very unfortunate, Kurt. Just, one of those things. It's one of those tracks, isn't it? When you have, generally when you have an incident here, they're never small, are they?
No, especially not when you're doing 350 odd into the first corner.
That answers our question from before.
Yes.
It was Liam Haycock.
A 5-second penalty for racing room with Nick Fodiatis. So Josh Zuno and Tim Watson have rejoined us from race control. They might be able to elaborate on that for us as Julian Mookie goes to the front of the Indy 500 on the inside of David Baz at the end of lap 58. Boys, what was the adjudication on that and some of the other stuff you've seen in the last stint?
After you, Tim.
That first one with Nick, I forget who the car in front was. He had a bit of a wiggle going into turn one. We think he might have been a bit spooked by Greg Heaney down the inside and had that bit of a wiggle. And Nick's also turned down that tiny bit on him, and that's between those two. There was that bit of contact, and yeah, we thought it was more on the leading car for being spooked by Greg passing him on the inside. That's why he got the 5-second penalty.
Copy that. What else have you taken away from the opening half of the race, Josh? pit lane activity very, very alive and well at the moment too, by the way. 10-second penalty for Aaron Russell for the incident with Dave Oliver on lap 50. You might be able to adjudicate or let us know why the adjudication was so, Josh.
Yeah, too easy. So, yeah, basically, Aaron's done the right thing here, but Dave's overtaken him, and Aaron's tried to, capitalise on having a car there to tow him along a little bit. So he's jumped straight behind Dave, but Dave getting the overtake, he's locked it in, but he has got a little bit of understeer into the corner and had to slightly lift. And yeah, Aaron has ducked behind him, full gas, and not lifted. So it's definitely not egregious. It was just an accident trying to, minimise the losses from being overtaken. But yeah, he's turned him, put him into the wall. So an accident with serious consequences. It's a 10-1.
Disappointing as well for Adam Lavis's race to be hamstrung so early.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's well aware of the safety car rules, and we've mentioned that there could potentially be a second one. So, yeah, definitely worthwhile hanging in it. He is on the lead lap, and yeah, you can do things from anywhere. As I mentioned earlier, it's only up to that final run to the brick line. That's who's going to get the chockies.
Okay, so just to paint the picture for everybody at home, there is Adam Lavis, the green car, second pack in shot, right? And he is sitting 16th position at the moment. He's in the train to latch on to that guy there, Liam Haycock, who leads this race at the moment by 0.09 of a second over Aidan Luthwaite, to then potentially get through this train of cars and get his lap back. The only way he gets into the fight in the closing stages is by being on the lead lap. Once we go green after potentially a second competition caution, although that being said, if there's a big enough shunt, and we've seen a couple of them already tonight, that may get waived regardless. It's lap 62, so next time by will be halfway. Mountain Men, Porsche Open Cup Development Series. Adam Lavis has an enormous pedigree of success under his belt here on the platform of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Aidan Luthwaite might be about to make history tonight, however, for himself and the Whiskey Business Racing Stable. A championship win for himself and a championship for Whiskey Business Racing, that ever-growing establishment. Down the inside to turn one, Haycock had a look. Luthwaite drives high, covers that off. Looks towards Otto, has got Haycock and Kahn for company. What sort of a role will Fred Kahn, the teammate, play here for his teammate Aidan Luthwaite? You'd argue that he's already played his part. Unfortunately, contact with Adam Lavis put pay to Adam's night, and Lavis was the only one mathematically that Aidan had to worry about here. I mean, now Aidan can go about just focusing on winning the race itself and not thinking of it as part of a championship, but thinking of it as the crown and the jewel, which it is. And in the same way that Bathurst is for the supercar drivers this weekend. Haycock down the inside of everybody. The slipstream, it's an almighty run. It has a huge effect here at the Brickyard. Oh! Contact on the exit. They definitely run puddles. Phil Otto scraped the wall and got away with it. Whoa! Big moment at the halfway mark. Tim, what have you made of the race so far?
It's been quite enjoyable at the moment. Pretty hectic in the race control booth at sometimes, but hasn't been too bad at all. Good to see Aidan up there being a teammate, but in the end, I'd also like to see Adam up there and see those two guys fighting till the end. So hopefully he gets his lap back at this next safety car if it happens. And we see a good fight to the end between the two blokes.
Half-time in Sydney, boys. The Swannies up by 4 goals. 9-1 plays 4-6, 55-30 at the moment at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Here comes Dave Oliver to pit lane. So, lap 65, Haycock leads, Luthwaite second. Otto's then got a huge train on his tail at the moment. Baz, Benefield, Noble, Kahn, Yeaman, Johnson, Walker and Moyes. That takes you back to 11th. Aaron Russell is 12th with Tristan Koch for company. And Julian Mookie's there too. And he's got Adam Lavis. So Lavis is still hovering there in that lead second pack of cars. if he can work his way through them, and then find a way to Haycock and Luthwaite, get that lap back, and then all of a sudden, you beauty, he'll be right there in contention. At the moment, if he stays a lap down, he gets the way by his back on the lead lap. But he'll be 15th trying to work his way through at the business end of proceedings, which is easier said than done here. Because if the intensity and the pace of this thing is anything to go by at the halfway mark, you wait until they get the final 20% of it when the whips are cracking and the points are on the line. Down the inside to turn 1. Oh, jeez.
Oh, Liam.
Lavis. Oh, okay, right. So that's the... Right, let's come back to that news on screen in just a moment. I was just going to say, Lavis has got to be careful here as well because he's a lap down on the back of the train of cars that are fighting for track position. You don't want to get involved in somebody else's business, and you don't then also want to end up inadvertently in somebody else's accident. And that would be curtains for Adam Lavis if he was to do that. So he's got to approach this with a fair degree of aggression and attack, but also a fair degree of caution as well because he can't afford another slip. Now, that news on screen, that's a biggie. Liam Haycock's been slapped with a 10-second penalty, and that's a post-race penalty, yeah?
That looks like a post-race penalty to me. Unfortunately, that's pretty much game over. But, I mean...
Yeah, especially around here.
You've got to give room around here. It's unfortunate, but it was also avoidable at the same time.
So Aiden Luthwaite's taken the lead as Liam Haycock's got that 10-second penalty. And the 10-second penalty around here drops him down as Aiden Luthwaite comes to pit lane. Will drop him down to 12th. That's the price you pay around here when the racing's that tight and everybody's that bunched up. So that is a huge invoice coming Liam Haycock's way. I mean, yes, Phil Otto was compromised, and yes, he did scrape the wall, and yes, he did lose a little bit of ground. So I'm going to get race control to explain that one to us in a little bit more detail on why they've handed down the penalty they have.
Yeah, too easy. I solo investigated that one, so I'll jump in. Yeah, so Liam made the overtake and a bit hastily turned in, put a front tyre kind of onto the grass, well below where he should be, got a wiggle on, and it looks like it's net coated, but regardless, Phil would have got bonked and punched into the walls. Phil actually hit the wall that hard on my screen that the wheel left the premises and rejoined back as it often does in iRacing. But yeah, no, that's.
So he was driving through the wall, is what you're saying?
Yeah. So yeah, it's just.
Wow.
A bit unfortunate for Phil there. He was doing everything right. He had a car width and a half down to the white line, and Liam's just come up and a bit hasty there.
Very much so indeed. All right, thank you guys, appreciate that. That's a big blow to Liam Haycock's chances, and he's up 16 spots already. Chris Noble up 18 is all of a sudden a contender in this race as well. Phil Otto, Daniel Benefield, second, third to Liam Haycock. Chris Noble, Fred Kahn, Daniel Yeaman. Yeaman just minding his own business, going about it ever so casually, ever so calmly, and ever so quietly, just like he did this time last week at the Red Bull Ring. Oh boy, the tension builds. The pressure mounts at the Brickyard. Aiden Luthwaite is out there at the moment, 3/4 of a lap down on the leaders, but he is one stop out of sequence on them as well. Kurt, disappointing way to end the season, mate, but first time I've had a chance to catch up with you this week. What are you looking forward to about the next week and a half, and then building up towards the start of the new term? How much preparation have you put in for term 4 already, please?
I haven't really had a chance to put in much preparation. Speaking of, I got to get... I was using his Fenatech 2.5 just to get me back on track for Indy this week because my Moser decided to crap itself.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
We've got a big one. Front screen and
Turn one.
Greg Haney.
Oh no, Green! Oh, Green's in the fence!
Okay.
Okay. Wow. That's an enormous shunt for Green and an enormous shunt for Heaney. His second moment of the night. He's on pit road. Green's on the tie rope. In fact, I reckon Green will just park up and be done with it, I'd say.
We'll catch that again from a different view. Oh, wow.
Green got into Heaney, and then Rogue launched off Heaney up and high and into the fence and caught. Had that had been a real-world incident, that would have just ripped the fence apart. But,
and it would have made world headlines as well at the same time.
Oh, that's a disastrous incident. But not big enough to trigger a second caution at the moment. We're waiting for race control's discretion on what the second caution will look like, whether it's a competition caution, if it's needed, whether it's an accident that triggers that button being pushed. We will wait and see. Yeah, parked it on the fence. Absolutely he did. It gave a new definition to parking it on the fence.
Yeah, I can tell you, I've seen on numerous occasions in the dirt world with sprint cars, they get together and if anyone's ever been to the Speedway and seen the big 410 sprint cars, those things can go really, really high if they happen to hit the ground right. And I've seen on more than one occasions cars hanging off the top of the fence like that, and the guys have to climb down the fence to get out of them. But never in an Indycar, not like that. That was pretty crazy.
Oh boy, and there's going to be a 5 second. Oh, David Buzz gets a 5 second penalty for racing room with Fred Card on lap 64. Jeez.
I actually missed that one.
Hello, Chapo, at the Sydney Cricket Ground, where the Swans are up at the moment and doing very nicely in the preliminary final. Geelong, Brisbane tomorrow afternoon, bounce at 5:15 Eastern. And then, of course, Sunday is Bathurst in the virtual world, so a big weekend of great sporting action for you here. Daniel Gaiman takes up front running with Adam Johnson coming to pit lane. Now, there's a guy that's worth having a chat about, Joe, because... and Kurt's still here as well.
Solid night.
Kurt's still here as well, and we'll hear from Kurt later. And I hope he can stick around for a little bit just yet. But it's interesting, isn't it, when you look at Adam Johnson. Every time we showed an up-and-comers race, a grand final night, 3 different cars, 3 different same circuit, 3 different cars, 3 different sets of weather conditions and whatever else. 30-minute races. He would find a way off the circuit in all 3. He would find a way to get his 5 seconds of airtime in all 3. But tonight would have to be among some of the cleanest driving we've ever seen from him, some of the most consistent and some of the most competitive as well. He's sitting there,
absolutely.
He rejoins the circuit after lap 75, stopping on pit lane, and he's driving along beautifully and just minding his own business, and he could well be a genuine contender for at least a top 5, maybe a podium finish if everything falls his way at the end. Evan Moyes takes up front running from Daniel Yeaman and Dylan Walker. We've got a question here about Haycock's penalty. So, Haycock's got actually, that's a good question.
He's already got early in the race.
Penalty. So that's now 15. So that's 15 that's going to be applied to him post-race. So all those time penalties that you're seeing on the screen, there's no way of us to, adequately determine whether they're being served in service. So they're all applied post-fact. So that will hurt Liam Haycock just a little bit more. Bevan Moyes to pit lane. Oh, Russ Green with a 3-point penalty. So when you say 3 points, Josh, is that licence safety point penalty or is that championship point penalty?
So that's a championship point there. Basically he was the cause of that accident. It was an accident, but it was definitely attributable.
Copy.
And I should specify it's because he has left the building.
Copy. Even better. Dylan Walker, Daniel Yeaman. Whoa, big moment there coming into pit lane for Dylan Walker. Daniel Yeaman, they're both side by side driving down pit lane at the moment. This for their 6th stop of the night. We are 47 laps from home. Liam Haycock is out of contention essentially with his 15-second penalty coming his way at the end of the night. Hayden Luthwaite's sitting pretty. Phil Otto's in contention. Daniel Benefield's there. Adam Johnson's there. Fred Kahn, Chris Noble, Aaron Russell, all in the top 10.
15 seconds is effectively, that's nearly half a lap. So unless he does something pretty special and leads out and wins a race by 16 seconds, it's disappointing. He's been running up the front all night, but you just have to be clean. And unfortunately, Liam, he's probably just not been quite right. I tell you what, he's getting in very close with Phil Otto again. So they're resuming hostilities. Let's hope neither of the guys end up with another penalty.
Exactly. Although Aidan Luthwaite will be sitting there saying, race as hard as you like, boys, I don't care.
Just don't let him get
living
involved.
daylights out of one another. Yeah, just don't bring me into it. Daniel Yeaman resumes in 12th place at the moment, but there are 2 effective trains here. Haycock, Otto, Luthwaite, Benefield, and then Johnson, Khan, Noble, Russell, Walker, Moyes, Baz, and Yeaman. Adam Lavis is still a letdown. He's in that next train of cars at the top of your screen. So he will get his lap back, and he'll be at the back of the train should there be another caution deployed. In comes Dave Oliver. Lap 80 in the books, ladies and gentlemen. 45 to go. It's been relentless, the pace of this, the intensity of it. They were very well behaved when they were bunched up in the opening 6 or 7 laps. It didn't take long for the gloves to come off, though. Who's going to pull a rub out of the hat, Sam Chapman style, like what we saw the other night?
Oh, just brilliant. I think we spoke about it before we went on air, and the SRW GSRC race on Wednesday night was just fantastic for everybody involved. So, as everyone knows my role here, but I just tip of the hat to the SRW guys for not only suggesting it. One of the gentlemen in there, he was like, I really want to have a race with you guys who's running the Super Formula Lights. And just, it was a spectacle. There was a lot of twists and turns. Unfortunately, a couple of their guys got killed, not by each other, but by netcode. But it's the same for everybody, I guess. It's really unfortunate for them too. But the guy, he didn't show his hand all night until the last few laps was Sam Chapman. He just jumped out of the shadows. Should call him Slender Man, the way he just jumped out of the shadows and just picked them off at the end there. Great strategy by putting fresh tyres on for his final stint, and he took home the chocolate. It was a great drive by him. Just
caution!
Oh, we have a
Safety
yellow.
car is out. We've gone yellow again, the second time tonight. So there you have it. So the race is essentially going to be broken up into thirds.
Now, hang on.
And we're going to have 40 laps to run, essentially, once we go green here at the Brickyard for the final stint. Here we go. This just got nice and spicy.
This is going to be great. So what do we got? We're on lap 83, so we go for 6. So we're going to be about 30. Oh, I tell you what, 39 laps to go.
Touch and go.
Yeah, you're right on the borderline for a 2-stopper. Like, you're either gonna have to save heaps and heaps of fuel to get home on one stop, or you're just gonna go, I'll say, all out. I won't use the other phrase because it's a little bit too early. Oh, yeah. So Sam Catterton's the Australian Open Wheel Nationals was brilliant. It really was. Sam was one of the drivers on
their side of the fence,
on Team SRW. Even though he races with us, Sam's come to us and done a bit of open wheel racing. So he did try and start tonight, but that event the other night, it was just spectacular.
Unsurprisingly, they are all in. All the cars on the league lap are in the lane. There are 13 of them. There will be 16 on the league lap once the field that's waltzed on by is waved by the safety car and they come in pit lane and top up. That'll be Adam Lavis, Tristan Koch and Dave Oliver. Daniel Benefield, the big mover on the lane, up into the lead ahead of Phil Otto and Adam Johnson. Liam Haycock's come out in 4th.
So here's Benefield. Geez, he's done well. I think he was he running 4th when they went into the pits, and here he is leading. I think he was 4th when the yellow was thrown.
Yeah, 956 brought down his way to the front.
He qualified 2nd, so he's been fast all night. He's still up the front there. Phil Otto, Adam Johnson 3rd, sitting 3rd. Look at Jono go.
I know.
That's outstanding.
There's always a wild card at the Brickyard.
Oh, look, he's probably going to get on to Nick saying, can we do 10 races at the Brickyard? Or, Joe, Trucker Joe, he used to run Bathurst every Saturday night. Can we do this every Friday night? Because he's having a cracker race and good on him. He's been around a long time, and it's great to be able to see him up the front and kicking goals with both feet. Well done, Johnny.
It's interesting, isn't it? We'll have mountain men and we'll have brickyard men.
If he gets his way, we will.
It'd be like a GSRC tribute to Lego Masters. Right now, Daniel Benefield, full auto. Adam, yeah, good point. Good point. So David Baz has been on pit lane for a minute and a half now, so that's going to take him out of contention all of a sudden. Wow,
Cowboys.
Oh, be careful here, guys.
Contact. We had that earlier in the race. A couple of the guys had contact in the pits, and a penalty was handed out.
So David Baz has actually lost a lap whilst on pit lane, so that's one contender out of business. That's going to leave us with, what are we going to have here? 15 on the lead lap. Benefield Auto, Johnson, Haycock, Walker, Moyes. Yeah, wow. David Baz is done. Whoa, another sting in the tail. Another one bites the dust. And now, here comes Nick Fodiatis.
Yeah,
back out onto the racetrack.
So
he's in 17th, and he's still a lap down, unfortunately, is Nick.
Yeah,
but what's going to be interesting here, as you say, Joe, 40 laps to go, and we saw, I think 18 laps was the most we saw out of a green flag run earlier in the race.
Yes.
So all these guys, I would imagine, would be hoping for one more lap behind the caution, just to save as much juice as they can. Then,
they're not going to get it.
No, they're not. So I think that everybody's just got to go hell for leather here, and it's got to be 2 stops from here. I don't possibly see how anyone gets home. 41 laps, or 40 laps now. Green flag flies, lap 86. Let's go. 40 laps to go. I don't see how anyone gets home on 2 stops from here, unless they're doing some lifting and coasting. And that's not the easiest thing to do on an oval of this type. So let's wait and see. Oh, this one just got interesting.
Keep an eye on your lap times. If lap times blow out into the 41s, 42s, I think you'll find that they're going to be trying it. But if they're still punching out, mid to late 30s, mid to late 40s, I'm sorry. Anything 41 and oh no!
Uh-oh. Bang! Oh no! There's a massive crash coming onto the main straight. Daniel Yeaman! It's Yeaman! It was a potential race winner, and he's taken Liam Haycock with him. And pit lane is blocked. And we've just thrown the last caution of the night. So there's no way back for those guys now, and Julian Mookie's night is done as well. Can you believe that? Daniel Yeaman.
So Dan Yeaman, he is here. What? Oh, something happened up front there.
And we just need to wind that back 5 or 6 seconds, Joe.
I think Liam got spat off the wall awkwardly by the looks of it.
I think you're right, and that's what's collected Julian.
So
but what happened in Yeaman more to the point. So let's have a look.
So, they hooked it. Oh no!
Oh, Haycock's been spewed off the wall. Oh wow! Oh, tried to take evasive action and just ploughed straight into the pit wall.
No!
Oh my goodness! Yeah, okay, well picked up, Kurt. Well spotted.
Well done.
Because it was Haycock losing the rear. It's poleaxed him. So it's sent him left, but then the impact on that inside wall has poleaxed him back out onto the racetrack. He's got no control of the car at this point, so, anyone that's waving the arms at the telly saying, what about holding your brakes? Not at that speed. Not at that speed.
It doesn't happen.
And unfortunately for Daniel Yeaman, the innocent bystander caught up in all of that, and Julia Mookie, another one. Well done, you two. As Josh Sino and Tim Watson rejoin us from Race Control, well done. As soon as you bunch the field up, you get the big one of the night.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
That was. I'm laughing, sorry, because we had to have a look at a few of the onboards to just check out caution 3 yellows there, and there were some horror shows. Poor Julian Mookie, he was lucky he had a blindfold pulled out from in front of him, and there was just a brick wall in front of him. And yeah, there's some fantastic driving. Unfortunately, I believe Liam's impact with the wall there wasn't really a realistic account of what you would expect the bounce back to be. It was like we're in a ping pong stadium. Not a brickyard,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
Bouncing off the walls of a jumping castle. Yeah.
That's it. So even though people didn't lift. Caution under yellows, how we look at them is basically, are they taking appropriate measures to dodge a crash with the information they have? And I do believe everyone did. It was just a really unfortunate ping-pong effect that Liam had there, and, you know.
Ooh, Benefield for the lead, boys. Benefield for the lead. He wants to run from the front. Goes to the inside of Phil Otto. Adam Johnson just sitting patiently in third. Devin Moyes fourth, and Aidan Lewthwaite, champion-elect, is fifth with his teammate Fred Kahn in close tow. Chris Noble's back in the top 10. Have a look at that from Noble. Otto back down the inside of Benefield to the end of the back straight, and he goes through to reclaim the lead. Russell is 8th. Lavis now on a charge back up into 9th. Here he comes. And 10th is Dylan Walker. So all of a sudden, the bets are off, the gloves are off, and here comes Adam Lavis. Daniel Benefield back down the inside of Phil Otto to turn 1. What can Lavis do from 9th? And we talk about running a race to fuel numbers, Joe. No one better in this field than Adam Lavis.
Oh, absolutely. And he'll be looking for all the draft that he can find. So, Aaron Russell, you are a windbreak for Mr. Maverick at the moment. So, Mav would have it turned down. He'll have his fuel trimmed out enough to just stay in touch with these guys, so they can save the fuel. Get even if he's got to take 3 or 4, like he may have to stop twice, but if he's got to take a total of 5 litres less than anybody else over those 2 stops, he'll jump cars. So although Adam's starting to look, he's getting racy. He's ducking out around Aaron Russell at the moment, so he may be considering getting up there. So as he takes to the high side, he'll get the run off here. Will he go to the inside, down the back straight? Yes, he does. There we go. So Adam's having a run. He probably wants to pick the pace up maybe a little. No, he pulls back in.
So obviously, Aaron Russell's bringing him along, tagging him along just fine for the moment. And for Adam Lavis' liking. Let's wait and see what happens in the next. What have we got now to go? 93, so 33 laps to go, 32 laps to go. It's across the line to start lap 94. Russell and Lavis. Lavis to the inside. No, Russell still got him covered off. Benefield leads Otto. But yeah, have a look at Adam Johnson. What a chart. This is probably Jono's best drive ever on the platform for GSRC, and I say that with no disrespect intended whatsoever. That is so nice to see him hit a sweet spot here.
I feel like starting a chant for him, to be honest. He's driving out of his skin tonight, and great work tonight. I absolutely hope he regardless of his result, he's got to be proud. He's 30 laps from the end of probably what's going to be one of the toughest Indy races we do this year, this season. And here he is punching, I won't say he's punching above his weight. He's exactly where he needs to be. He's obviously done practice, and he's doing really well. So hats off to you, Adam. I hope you come in and have a chat after the race, mate. Well done.
And I don't want to commentators cursing here, and I've got a wooden desk, so I'll hold it while I'm saying this. But Adam Johnson is regularly known for going for incident point records, and it's fair to say he is the only one on a 0x at the moment.
Really?
So double pats on the back.
Have a look at that. Down the main straight, boys, to complete lap 95. 30 to go at the Brickyard. We're racing to the checkered flag. Is Adam Lavis racing to a race win, or which would be a remarkable turnaround and comeback, or is Aidan Lewthwaite on his way to victory lane? And what does it mean for the championship? Because, well, if something happens and goes awry for Lewthwaite or Lavis at this point, it's game over and the other one takes it. Luthwaite with the advantage in the box seat. He just needs to finish here and he'll be the champion. It's a little bit more complicated than that for Adam Lavis, made even more so after his early race incident with Fred Kahn. Look at how tight they are. Too close for comfort here as they head back down the main straight once more. Liam Haycock's just joined us in the commentary box, ladies and gentlemen, fresh off the jumping castle. Hello, mate. Have you got us, Liam? Are you there?
He's got to start us up, but he may not be away. Another factor until Liam sorts out his microphone or whatnot. Another factor with the battle with Adam is rear gunner. Good old 99 Nick Fodiata, series runner here. So he's currently working with Dave Oliver, and they're just trying to push their way up to the pack. So he may be able to run rear gunner for Adam a bit later. You know, we got what is it, 29 laps left
for everyone.
Yep. So
now, here's the other thing as well, boys. They're all awake to it. They're all awake to what they need to do to get home on only one more stop. Watch how the times have gone from, well, 40.3, 40.4, 40.4, 40.3, your fastest one of the night. They're now doing 41 ones and 41 twos and 41 threes.
I call it.
They're all alert to the fuel save requirements here at this point. Here comes Dylan Walker to pit lane.
He's double pitting.
That's too early. He's going to have to stop twice.
So, but what it does by Dylan pitting now, that's a real fail for me, because he's going to come out
a lap down,
in the pack, a lap down. So he was a fair way off. He might have had a bit of a wiggle or something maybe. So he's doing a lap down now, and he's still going to need to pit again. If the rest of the field only pit once, it's game over for Dylan.
Correct. All these questions are soon to be answered.
Exactly one stop.
It is Liam. There he is. Hello, mate. Nice to have you on board. Fresh off the jumping castle, as we're going to call it. What the hell was that? That's a bounce back off the wall like we've never seen before.
Ooh.
Oh, Benefield's in, so they're two-stopping as well. Lavis is in as well. They've got to be two-stopping. They've got to be two-stopping. If Lavis is in, I'm convinced that everyone else is going to follow, and it's going to be two stops from here. That is big. That is huge. Gamble's playing out on your TV screens, on the platforms of the GSRC, to end the season as far as the Indycar series is concerned, right in front of your eyes. This is extraordinary.
Now, what do you do if you're Bevan, Otto, like if you're Bevan Moyes, Phil Otto, Aiden Luthwaite? You've seen those guys duck in now. Daniel pitted from the lead. Bang,
here they come.
They're all in.
They're all in. Righto. So that answers the question. Fred Kahn's going on. No one else is. This is a two-stop race to the flag. So essentially, with the cautions falling where they have, well done, gentlemen. Well done, Google's automatic lap number generator. Well done, everybody else. We now have a situation where instead of a 7-stop race, we're looking at 18 most paces. We've got Liam Haycock in the commentary box. I want to jump in before I lose him, mate. Bad luck. Already a couple of incidents, so 15-second invoice at the end of it, but that unfortunate moment there where you've become a ping-pong ball back out onto the racetrack and compromised Julia Mookie, collected Daniel Yeaman. That was curtains. That was it. Unfortunate way to end.
How understeered like it had never done throughout the whole race, and just hit the wall, and from there I couldn't do anything.
Very unlucky for you, mate, because really, to be fair, you had pace and you had form and you had track position. You've made a great charge. You're up 16 positions at one point.
Coming into this race, I didn't expect anything, to be honest, but I guess I was in a good spot. Just a few weird penalties that I don't quite get. I'll have to look back at them though. And so I was pushing and couldn't get the car to feel normal after that last pace car.
How frustrating, how disappointing is it to be watching on from the sideline for the final few laps here?
To be honest, I'm kind of happy with my race, because that's the best race I've had all season apart from bar, as that's the only finish I've had.
Wait! Champion-elect to the lead! Stay with me, boys. Coming back to you shortly. He gets by Daniel Benefield. Now the gloves are off. Now they're all going for it. They know that it's a two-stop race. They know that everybody's on the same strategy. They know everybody's going to get up to their usual tricks. They know they haven't got a safety car to help them out. They know they've got to keep it clean. But they know they've got to be fast and they've got to have track position. Look at this. Top 5, all lighting up orange on your timing screens at the moment. Only a second in the top 5. Jono's 5th, Otto's 4th. Bevan Moyes down the inside of Luke Lake. Benefield had already got back by. Here we go. Now the gloves are off. Now Bevan Moyes is playing his hand.
Oh, there was a bit of a push there for Bevan.
Whoa! Watch Adam Lavis at the back of this train. 9th place now. Now that he knows that he doesn't have to fuel save because no one else is playing to the same game around and playing to the same tune. But now he can go full tilt as well. We know that he's good on ovals. Oh, trouble.
Bevan Moyes.
Bevan Moyes has had a moment just when we were talking him up. Bevan Moyes, Fred Kahn caught up in that as well after the fact. Bevan Moyes not done. Whoa, indeed. Did well until there. Bang, Fred gone. Clattered Fred Kahn.
I tell you what, that would be a
That's not dissimilar. That's not dissimilar to the incident we saw late last year in the real world Indy 500 with a car coming off that infield pit lane return bitumen back up onto the racetrack. No. Yeah.
Nowhere to go.
Bang.
Joe, can I get you to do us a favour as well and have a look at Mr. Luthway from the TV camera?
On the TV camera, as in...
Yeah, so, okay. Right, on my screen, he only has half a wing. And I thought that might be championship implementations.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Wow.
Keep an eye on Aiden Luthway. Oh, boy.
If you don't get half a wing, it ain't slowing
Back
you
to the
down.
lead. No, it's not. Oh, look at this. Driving the race of his little life at the moment is Aiden Luthway. What about this? A chance to be a champion, a chance to put silverware in the Whiskey Business Racing Trophy Captain awaits. Benefield has something to say for that, though. For 9-5 Simsport. Back down the inside he goes. Back to the lead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the front. One of those has to be a lap down. One of those is an imposter because we've only got 5 on the totem pole here. Down the main straight we go. I'm just trying to add that up at the moment. I think it's... I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Kurt Normanton, Liam Haycock still here with me. Liam, what are the plans for the next week and a half before the new term gets underway, mate?
Not too sure, just do random official races, get more experience, and I think I'm slowly starting to get better on Rick, but I just need to focus on that for a while.
Outside of the Indycar, what are you throwing your hand at? What are you jumping into the cockpit and driving?
Mainly whatever goes official, but like GT3s or whatever's at Ringmeister and Porsche Cup.
Lovely. So is there a chance that we'll see you in those races next season on our platforms or not?
I'd love to, but it's just I can't really. It's too late. I was thinking of supercars, but I just can't make the latest slot.
Fair enough. That's it. Yeah, that's unfortunate, mate. But hopefully we'll still see you around racing at some point throughout the course of the next term. Good charge tonight. Well done. Got plenty of screen time, plenty of focus, plenty of attention. Raised plenty of eyebrows as well because you made people sit up and take notice. So that was a really good drive while it lasted. Unfortunately, it didn't last till the checkered flag. Go and enjoy the last few minutes of this race. We appreciate you stopping by, mate.
Yeah, really entertaining so far. Unraced as well.
It has been indeed. Let's have a look at this. I'm going to go back to Kurt in just a moment as well and get his take on turn 4, but Luthwaite wants to go back to the front, and that's not surprising. Luthwaite back to the lead. There are 17 laps to go at the line, 16 laps to go at the line, I should say. And Aiden Luthwaite is up 7 spots on where he started. Phil Otto's up 9 spots. Chris Noble's up 17. Adam Lavis is now 6th and up 12 spots. But the problem for Adam, who's got Dave Oliver and Aaron Russell for company, is that they are now 4.5 seconds back on the train. So there's losing ground to the train at the moment. The top 5 are fighting this one out for championship honours and race honours, respectively. This is going to be huge, Joe.
So if you're Dave and Adam, they're doing exactly what I would expect them to do here at the moment. They're being smart. They're leapfrogging each other down the straight. So watch here. So we get through turn 4. And down here, Adam won't stop Dave from getting the leapfrog on him. So uses the draft, get the speed up, get in front, get in behind, and then just do it on the next straight. And the whole time they've got to hope that the top 5 just battle it out, don't work together. And that's what the top 5, they need to be doing the same thing. And this is where the strategy of over racing is lost on a lot of people. You've got to work together to get to the end of the race, to put yourself in a position. It's not the sort of racing discipline where you can be selfish, I guess is probably the way to put it. You've got to help your fellow guy to help you, and everybody, everybody can benefit that. But it's hovering around that 4.2 second mark at the moment. So yeah, 4.1, between 4.1 and 4.3. So hopefully these guys can benefit if they didn't put as much fuel on in the last stop. They might have to put, or if they put more on, which gave them the gap, and if they need less fuel, it might get them back into the battle of the run home, which we've only got 14 laps to go.
Yep, and looking at the clock, 12.5 minutes on time certainly, but we're going to be good for that because we know we get 3 laps every 2 minutes around here or thereabouts, so there's less than 7 minutes left in this race, ladies and gentlemen. Luke White back to the front. In comes Dylan Walker for his final stop. Yeah, too wide. I don't know how long they'll want to carry on with that for, though. Phil Otto wanted a piece of it. Adam Johnson's there as well. Chris Noble's not far off. And then I think that might be Bevan Moyes has crept back onto the tail there to join the boys in the train, but he is still a lap down now, having run into trouble, in fact 2 laps down, and Daniel Yeaman is a lap and a half down in 13th place. Oh, what might have been. Nick Fodiatis a lap down as well. So many cases of what might have been here at the Brickyard tonight. That's always part of the course of the racing around here as we continue down the main straight with 12 laps to go.
Jackson
so that's
Dial.
8 minutes of racing or thereabouts is all that separates us and the checkered flag. Here we go.
Yeah, Jackson Dial's showing his support behind his Whiskey Boys teammates. So I'd say there's probably going to be a few Whiskies washing the dust out tonight.
He wants to lead it now. But the games are only just starting here because we've got another splash and dash coming up, and that could be where the race is won and lost. We've also got, we also know these guys. There it is. The zig and zag, and it's Benefield that zags, and everybody else zigs. Down the main straight we go. Luthwaite, Otto, Johnson, Noble, Russell. Lavis is in. So, locking it up onto the pit lane speed limiter. So too, Tristan Koshnik, Fodiatis into the lane this time by. So pit lane busy all of a sudden. Graham Haycock remains there, parked up last to the retirements was Brad Kahn. So 17th through 27, 11 retirements so far tonight. Michael Heaney reliably informs us that there's already some whiskey on hand from the WBR stable. So this is where the games start. Once the pit lane window has come and gone, and here they should come now. Aiden Luthwaite's in, bang, gone, see you later. Chris Noble follows. Once those guys get off pit lane, we are about to... we'll get back to the YouTube comment there in just a moment with regards to how you join in the fun of the fair. You need the iRacing platform. That's point number 1. But we'll get back to that later. There's always information at hand at the ready via our website, and we'll throw the link up on screen a little bit later on tonight. Phil Otto and Adam Johnson are due on pit lane any tick of the clock. Aiden Luthwaite, Chris Noble, Aaron Russell just leaving pit lane. And here comes Daniel Benefield as well. So I think Benefield might just be about to do this. Have a look at him. There he is. There's Daniel Benefield. Watch this. Daniel Benefield. Have a look. 9.5 SimSport are out of the crowds in front.
He's got a fair cap too.
Yes. A huge margin, Joe.
Man,
that's
fourth.
Enormous. 2 seconds quicker in and out of the box than anybody else. That will be the difference. My goodness. Now, Adam Lavis is he going to be effective fourth here? We'll wait and see.
Yeah,
He's only
looks-
1.5 seconds off Chris Noble. Down the main straight. Let's watch
Adam
this.
Johnson.
9 to go at the Brickyard. 6 minutes of racing ahead of us.
Watch for it. Oh, here's Benefield. Is he going to have the steam or is Otto?
Oh, Jono got it bobbled on the exit of the pit lane. So look at this. Otto and Johnson have slotted out in front of Luthwaite and Noble.
And
So if Otto and Johnson start going to blows, that might reel Luthwaite, Noble and Lavis back in.
So Adam
That's exactly
Johnson,
how we wanted it.
he's well within draft range at 94. So he's just inside a second. So he's going to have draft. He should be able to suck back up onto the group here. Luthwaite's only half a second behind him. Noble's a half a second behind him. Mav's 9/10 behind Chris Noble. We've got 7 laps. Oh, I don't know that Chris and Adam will get onto the pack, but Adam Johnson, he's
Phil Otto to the lead.
wow, boys.
Have a look at this. Phil Otto has engaged Daniel Benefield in battle and said, if you want to win this, you're going to have to earn it, son. And that's exactly the point I wanted to make, Joe. At this point of the night, as Benefield trades barbs once more. So you're expecting moves at 1 and 3, right? So
Yes.
now you've just got to mathematically go through it in your head. Where do I want to be and when do I want to be there? And you do not want to, you probably don't want to be leading coming into the back straight on the final lap. So let's wait and see how that plays out. Otto goes back to the front because you're then leaving yourself with a very short run down the main straight to the checkered flag, which is not, of course, turn 1. And we know that sometimes you're not at the overtaking point until after the Art of Bricks, right? Oh, Adam Johnson, nearly his first big one of the night. And you don't want a big one late in the piece. But now, 6 laps to go. Benefield to the inside. So if you start going through in your head, Benefield leads now. Otto should lead at the end of the back straight if they want to play that game. And it's dragging Aiden Luthwaite and Adam Johnson back in. Exactly what we thought they would do. And that's helping out Chris Noble, but Adam Lavis has lost the toe. So Chris Noble is essentially going to be the 5th and final car to join this queue. And now it's a 5-way fight for victory.
And look at this. They're all in the red gap. So we've
Slipstream.
got a second coming in the top 5.
This is huge. This is awesome.
Here goes Aiden.
Luthwaite to the inside of Johnson. Luthwaite goes to 3rd. Now he goes out of the shit of Otto. Oh, no, John's gone. Big one. Huge moment for Johnson. He's not done. Such a great drive up until that point, but unable to finish it off. Otto goes back to the lead. Noble comes through. That incident has compromised Noble, Luthwaite and Lavis. Luthwaite did well not to get involved in that too much. But now he is compromised.
Dun, dun,
Because
dun, dun.
is that Bevan Moyes? Is that Bevan Moyes dragging the train along, Joe?
I think it is.
What?
Does Aiden have a invoice to pay for that one?
Possibly.
Yeah, oh God, I don't want to be Josh and Tim. Them
No,
guys
no.
are still in here.
No,
I
they
don't want to know.
We might need to have a look at a replay of that after the fact.
Well, we'll have a look now. Where are we? So
Sorry to Jono because we put the kiss of death on him.
we did. Look, I was so proud of him tonight. Regardless of the result, if you're watching this, Jono, I'm proud of you, mate. You have driven a mega race tonight. Absolutely.
There goes Bevan Moyes giving room to everybody, giving way. But still trying to fend off Nick Fodianis, but he needn't bother because he's a couple of laps down on Nick. Oh, no, it's neck coat, is it?
No way. No.
No?
Oh.
Right.
I'm going to have...
Can we ride on board with Aiden?
That's what I'm going
But
to do.
actually, Joe, can we do it after the race? Because there's 2.5 to go.
There is. Okay, we can do that.
There's 2.5 to go. Let's go back to the leaders. Let's bring these guys home. Then we'll go back and have a look at the replay. Hopefully by that point, we'll hear from race control as well. And I guess what works in what
Jackson.
works in Aiden's favour.
Just hit the wall. The blue Dave Oliver, is it?
Yeah,
In the blue car.
the only thing that works in Aiden's favour if he cops a time penalty of any sort here,
on the lead lap.
is that he's on the lead lap and he's one of only 8 drivers on the lead lap at the moment. So that's the lowest he can fall. So that will work in his favour, and that should probably cement the championship for him. But look at it now, because Chris Noble's rejoined the fight. Chris Noble's right there. He hasn't let it up all night, Noble. He hasn't factored into the equation all night, and he's right there.
He's going to do a
with the white flag in the air. Let's go. 2.5 miles, 4 kilometres, one more time around the brickyard to bring the curtain down on turn 3, and Noble goes for it down the inside. Gets by Otto at turn 1. Now the next target's Benefield. Can Chris Noble go from 3rd to the win on the final lap? There's every chance he's going to do it. Down the back straight for the final time. Look at Otto defending Luthway. Look at Benefield. Noble goes to the outside. He his chances. Look at this. Noble around the outside. Can't get it done. Benefield holding the inside line. Who's going to win from the fight to the line? Oh no, big one. Otto's in the wall on the run to the flag. Noble and Benefield. Benefield.
Wow.
Benefield by those. But Noble without a tremendous push from Chris Noble every ounce of the way. The 2 championship combatants come home 3rd and 4th provisionally. It is done for Aiden Luthwaite. And Luthwaite and Whiskey Business have silverware in the trophy cabinet. How about that? Let's have a look at a couple of things here, Joe. Number 1, how close it was. Photo finish between this pair. What an incredible bit of defensive work from Daniel Benefield here. And also how lucky was Aiden Luthwaite not to be cleaned up by the spinning car of Phil Otto. He's limped home in 6th.
Oh,
there
inches,
it is for you, ladies and gentlemen. There's a stone throw in that.
Inches.
My
That's
goodness.
crazy. So,
My goodness.
We'll go back.
Oh, look at Phil Otto's car. Destroyed.
And he was a star the whole night. So we'll have a look, see what happened to Phil. Oh, hang on. My bad.
Oh, Jesus.
We'll have another look at that one.
Right, yeah, and then of course we need to have a look at the moment
understeered straight off. Just understeered. But that one, so if we go back.
The moment with Aiden Luthwaite at turn 1 with Adam Johnson needs further investigation. We know that. We've got to look at that in a moment. But based on a couple of different things here, the drop round points that Aiden had up his sleeve coming into this final round, plus the fact that, as I said, the lowest he could have possibly finished there is 7th. No. Oh, jeez.
That looked, I'm not going to call it. But that looked like Aiden had a big understeer up into Jono. So he's probably going to get a penalty. But what it won't do is
take the championship
away from him. He's absolutely. And look, and Daniel Benefield, Chris Noble, you guys put on the best last lap of the year. That was amazing. Well done, guys.
And a guy that was right in the thick of it, led at one point, but didn't have any luck, is joining us in the booth now, and Nick Vodiatis. Get to him in just a tick. And I know he's going to be pressed for time here, so I just want to finish with Kurt and then let him go before we start the post-race show proper. Hey, Kurt, disappointing to see that your night ended as, and Dave Oliver's come to blows as well late in the piece. Jeez, there were some hairy moments in the final few laps there. Yeah. Hey, Kurt, of what's on offer, when are we going to see you popping into the booth and jumping into the cockpit starting September 30 when Turn 4 gets underway? Can you believe it's only a week and a half away? We'll turn around twice, blink once, and we'll be talking at the end of Turn 4. This year is racing on by. It barely feels as though, because we've done the overtime this week with these 2 events, that we're going to get any chance to catch our breath before Turn 4 gets underway.
Yeah, I'll definitely be running GT3s as per usual.
Good boy.
And then I'll be running the NASCAR trucks and the supercars, more than likely. They're the main 3 focuses I'll have. Might show up for some Downforce Legends races at some point. We'll just have to see how we go.
Fantastic. Rightio. Kurt, thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Sad to see the race end the way it did for you. One of a few monster shunts that'll be on the highlight reel tonight. There we go. There's the race information from downstairs. 5-second penalty for Aidan Luthwaite. Bring those results back up, Joe, if you can, please.
I am trying.
5-second penalty, Aidan Luthwaite. So that's going to drop him off the podium. But what it won't do is drop him far enough to help Adam Lavis out of the championship fight. It's only going to drop him behind Aaron Russell. So Luthwaite drops from 3rd to 5th, but wins the championship. And Daniel Benefield, is that another new race winner, Nick Fodiatis?
Yes. I believe so. Yeah. So we got 9 out of 10.
9 in 10 weeks. Just
very happy with that.
What about that? Hey, Kurt, thank you, mate. Appreciate you stopping on by and spending the last half hour of the race with us, and look forward to catching up with you on September 30, mate. Go well.
Yeah, too easy. And I'll just give another massive thanks to Adam for lending me this gear to get me back on track for this one.
Absolutely. The sim racing world, and particularly the GSRC cohort, always willing to chip in and help out. So they're a good bunch of people. They're like one big happy family. Hey, well done, mate. Appreciate that. Let's jump into the post-race show here. I'm going to start with you, Nick.
Thank you. Stupid early start tomorrow morning, so yeah, got to get this done.
Mate, you and me both. 4:30 the alarm's going off tomorrow morning. I'm not looking forward to it. However, I did enjoy this. 100 minutes around the Brickyard, it never gets boring. 125 laps later, you only got 124, but you did get the fastest lap of the night. Unfortunately, turn 1 was your downfall.
Yeah, look, the Bailey Ladder's car was a very stable car tonight, admittedly very fast. It's probably in a mega tow. But yeah, once Adam got taken out, I just basically mirrored what Aidan was doing. So we stayed out on that safety car because we only just pitted, and then I got surprised into turn 1. I heard a car left, and then I went and watched it. There was 2 cars to my left, and one hit the other one into me. So
Yep.
Yeah. Look, other than that, I was having a cracking night, and everybody was doing the whole conga line fuel save, and I got the. What time is it, Zach? Can I swear?
It's go for it. Yep.
Yeah, I got the shits with it, so I just zoomed up from 13th. I think I got to 6th by the end of the lap, and then I sat there basically. And then through the pit stop cycle, I got another 3 spots, so I was sitting in 2nd or 3rd. And then my downfall lap 45 with the 3 into 1 don't go. But look, I had a cracking race at the back end with trying to drag Dave Oliver up with me, Aaron Russell, Adam Lavis. We're all trying to the field kept spreading out, and we were trying to just bridge the gap to the next group. And then somebody else would die, and we'd all have to hit the brakes, and then again, and then it happened again on the second restart as well. We're all ducking left and right.
Yep, and both those competition cautions came at very awkward moments in terms of the strategy play and the numbers.
Well, yeah, that's the whole idea. I mean, Josh has got it in was it iRace Control, and it does it by itself. So I just said to them, just make sure no one's in pit lane because it screws up the whole system. But yeah, look, it was fantastic. I think I only did 3 laps after the first one, and then it was a competition caution, so there's no point in pitting.
That's right.
And that final stint, what was it? Dave Oliver, Aaron Russell, and Adam and myself. Adam and I didn't take tyres, and it was just starting to get a little dicey on the final lap. But somebody died on the front stretch on the start of the final lap or something. So yeah, adventures everywhere. But big congratulations to Aidan. Fantastic, because season's won over the course of a season, not just one race.
That's right. Well, apart from Wednesday night when we had a one-off affair, and Chris Noble, what about that? Charged up through the field. We said you could win this race from anywhere, and he very nearly did. 100th of a second shy of Daniel Betterfield at the end. I haven't seen the side-on photo finish of that, just to show everybody at home exactly how tight it was. But Chris Noble very nearly stole that one out from under the clouds. He was 2 positions back. He was third going into the final lap, second at turn 1, and then made a real play for it. But from 22nd on the grid, Nick, that is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's great. That's fantastic. I was trying to do the same thing, but you can see here on this particular replay, this is early laps, I didn't want to be in the middle of the field, so I was doing a bit of a NASCAR thing, fall to the back or fall to a big break and then just hang out there for a little while.
Or hang out with your teammate Adam Lavis.
I was going to be his bodyguard.
Yeah, but unfortunately, David Baz banged a tyre into him, and that really put pay to Adam's charge, didn't it? I mean, he was lucky he got back onto the lead lap at the end, but it was just a bridge too far.
Yeah, look, from my perspective, there's a whole heap of stuff going on in front, so I'm on the brakes, and you've always got one eye on the mirror because you don't want to get run over from the guy behind you. There's a couple of hairy moments down here in turn 1 where the field just slowed right up, but the one where Adam got poleaxed is just once again the field just kind of ran into him, ran over him, and put pay to that. So I just had no other option just to help him out by shadowing Aiden, but alas, 3 into 1.
And probably the biggest crowd you guys have ever raced in front of as well. Have a look at them, just piled up into the grandstands there. You'll notice when you watch the replay as well, a couple of cars on the fence as well, Nick.
Fantastic.
And Greg Heaney, I need to have a word to him and just how he's gone all Spider-Man and being able to ride the fence, but we'll find out.
It was an interesting view, I'll give you that much.
Yes, we'll hear about that from him very shortly. Adam Lavis is crunching the numbers at the moment, folks. We'll have the final championship standings for you very shortly. It was a 2-horse race coming into tonight. Aiden Luthwaite is your champion for the Road to Indy series. Nick, we don't see this back next term, but the ingredients are there, the love is there, the interest is there to see this back, no doubt, early 2025. This is a series that's one of your babies. It's very near and dear to your heart, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. It's just trying to get enough people to do things. So once again, big thank you to Joe for broadcasting. Whoa.
Yeah, that was Greg Heaney riding the fence. Yeah.
Okay. There's a couple hundred dead there.
We'll give you a better view. Here, watch this.
Big thank you to Joe. Wowzers.
Yeah. Just look at him riding the fence.
He was a skateboarder when he was a kid, I reckon.
Brilliant.
Big thank you to Joe for broadcasting all 10 races. You know, he's got to take time out to not race, and he wanted to do the oval tonight, but I got in there first, but I don't know how to broadcast either. Big thank you to you, Zach, for
Pleasure.
Throwing your voice onto these ones. And big thank you to the guys in race control for doing a sterling job tonight, and all the other times where I'm not in race control. So yeah, it's a team effort. And I just big thank yous to everybody who's helped out, and a big thank yous to everybody who's competed in this, because I absolutely love IndyCar and the way Americans race as well, and you can't race by yourself. So big thank you to everybody who's been in the IndyCar, at least had a steer at some point during the 10 race season.
Indeed. Now, the next thing I want to ask you is on the back of, I just want to go to race control before I bring your segment to a close here, Nick. I just want to bring in Josh if I can. Mate, we saw the Aiden Luthwaite incident at the end there with Adam Johnson. There were hearts in mouths, and everybody was looking towards you blokes and thinking, what are these people going to come up with? Just talk us through it. It was only 5 seconds and it only dropped in 2 spots, but obviously there was enough ingredients there, or enough pudding to throw the book at him in a matter of speaking.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call a 5-second penalty having the book thrown at you, but it was quite funny actually. I turned to Tim and said, mate, you know, depending on the outcome of this incident, I need you to rule on it because Adam's my teammate and goes, and Tim looks at me and goes, Aiden's my. So I was like, oh, we're in a pickle here. So
we're in trouble. Yep.
We worked through it, and yeah, once again, attributable blame. Aiden was on the inside as the attacking car. It was on him to leave room to the defending car on the outside as they can dictate the line. And yeah, he unfortunately got a little bit of understeer, and I could see he was trying to do everything in his power to get out of it. But yes, Adam lost his 0x race, unfortunately, and
yes,
so that's how that rolls.
And only brought it home in 13th position after that as well. In fact, Joe has had the full results up on screen. I'll run through them again for you in just a few moments, folks. Josh, Tim, coming back to you in a moment. There they are, folks. Benefield, Noble, Luthwaite, Lavis, Russell, Otto, Kosh, all home on the lead lap. Luthwaite drops to 5th, Russell to 4th, Lavis up to 3rd, Noble 0.010 off victory. We'll get Daniel Benefield's thoughts on that in just a moment. We're going to chat to Aiden Luthwaite first, though, as the champion. Dave Oliver, Nick Fodiatis, then Sam King, Daniel Yeaman fought back well. Julian Mookie, after going front on into the pit lane fence barrier, he fought back for 12th. Adam Johnson, an unlucky 13th in the grand scheme of things. Greg Heaney, 6 laps down. Dylan Walker was a casualty in the end. So too Bevan Moyes. Fred Kahn, a late retirement. In this race, you would have had to have got about 93, 94 laps to be classed at 75%. So everyone down to Fred Kahn's okay, but then forget about it. Liam Haycock, David Baz, Russ Green, Kurt Nomson, Stephen Crediton, etc., etc., etc. All right, Nick, without Indycar to organise next term, without Indycar to run, what will we be seeing you behind the wheel of in Term 4 when it gets underway Monday week, please?
I haven't got it on hand, but working backwards, definitely the SR8. If I can find people put in place for the broadcast. Crap, I'm trying to think of what's on. I'll give the supercars a shot. I can't do GT4 this time round.
Okay. Thursday night, yep.
What's on Wednesdays?
The NASCAR Ovals.
Oh, yes, of course. Myself and Joe, we're going to have a good old battle in that. And there's actually more oval races in the club than you actually might realise in terms of NASCARs, because I put up 2 servers this week. It was only supposed to be 1. I put 2 up, and quite a few good steerers in them. So I think it's going to be quite good. So yeah, definitely the NAS trucks.
Yep. And any love for the GT3?
No, not really.
No, okay. I was trying to check. I just wanted to see if your stance had changed on it or anything. That's all. All good. Very nicely done. Hey, thanks for having us on board, mate. Thanks for organising the series. Well done with that. It's been a great success. And looking forward to seeing IndyCar back on the platforms next year.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it.
There he is, Nick Fodiatis. Got home 9th tonight in the 99, so all the 9s lining up there and +5 on the grid. Not bad, despite the fact that his race was compromised from very early on. Let's bring in Aiden Luthwaite now, champion of the series. And Aiden, at long last, our driver description bar that you're seeing on the bottom of the screen there that shows Nick Fodiatis is now going to have something in the bottom column for you, mate. Well done. Road to Indy series. One that's been hard fought but well earned, mate. So 2 wins, the only multiple race winner in the series along the way here. And, okay, not a podium finish tonight, a top 5, but again, consistency was key. Talk us through what's going through your mind at the moment. And your thoughts on the race that was.
Well, I think having a heart in mouth moment was a bit of an understatement, to be honest. That was a very, very, very hectic race. But yeah, got there in the end. Had that really unfortunate incident, obviously, with Adam. Obviously, yeah, I was deemed at fault. I completely agree. That's fine. And Yeah, I was really quite close to taking it out there, but anyway, got through it, and then obviously had that. I don't know who went off at the last corner there at the last lap, but nearly hit that car there, and I thought, oh god, here we go.
That was Filotto, yeah.
Filotto, yep. But yeah, managed to avoid that one, and yeah, just pretty much brought it home to the end. I had a rough idea of just crunching the numbers beforehand and things like that. I had a rough idea of where I needed to finish, if a Maverick finished in X position or Y position or whatever. But mainly, yeah, just trying to keep it clean throughout the race was the main thing. Probably pushed a little bit more than I should have, really. Obviously, should have probably stayed on the safer side of things just to bring the car home. But yeah, luckily got there in the end. As for the rest of the season, yeah, I think it was just about, just the same sort of thing, really. Just keeping it nice and consistent, just trying to get, the best results I can to try and get, I was really trying to get a gap to Maverick before this particular event because I knew he'd be quite strong here, as he typically is at the ovals. But yeah, managed to get a bit of a margin beforehand, and here we are.
Indeed. And your team boss is here at this point, so it's probably a good idea to bring him in and have a chat here as well. But before I go to Greg, let's quickly stick with you, Aiden. It's hard, isn't it? The championship's there for the taking. You're working with the buffer. You got drop around points to fall back on. So you could have taken a conservative, cautious type approach to tonight, but try telling you that rather once the red mist is descent, once the helmet's on, once the gloves are on, once the lights go green, yeah?
Yeah, no, 100%, yeah. Like, honestly, logically, in hindsight, it would have been, easier just to maybe just take a step back this race. But yeah, like exactly what you said, Zach, it's just, as soon as you're in that zone sort of thing, you just want to push and just get the best result you can. So yeah, honestly, did get a little bit ahead of myself tonight, but glad to make it through the other side, that's for sure.
And suffice to say, you've nailed an oval. I mean, I know ovals aren't everybody's cup of tea. Qualifying may not have necessarily gone great for you, only 8th, but as we said, this race can be won from anywhere. Chris Noble nearly proved that, coming from 22nd to 2nd. He, of course, got by Filotto at the start of the final lap there. A couple of hairy moments, obviously, the one with Jono and the one with Filotto for you as well. Were there any others that we might have missed? Sorry, not Filotto, Adam Johnson, my apologies.
I don't think so. No, I'm just trying to look back in my head. It was really quite a chaotic race. No, I don't think I had any really close calls. I did graze the wall at one point to get a 0x there, but that wasn't really anything to be too concerned about. Before the second safety car came out, I was a little bit concerned on what was going to go on with my fuel strategy. Obviously, because a lot of guys pitted, a lot of the guys didn't pit under the first safety car. I elected to stay out. But then we got that second caution. I'm like, okay, well, everyone's roughly on the same fuel strategy now, so we can basically just, push to the end, pit under the second safety car, pit again for full fuel, and then just do a splash to the end, and yeah, here we are.
We were umming and ahhing in the commentary box, but the question was answered for us on about lap, I want to say 100 might have been the time that the penultimate round of pit stops were being played out. We were umming and ahhing as to whether there was any merit in you guys just easing off the accelerator a little bit and going on at 9 or 8 tenths to make it a one-stopper from that time of the second safety car, but it was very clear that it was going to be a two-stopper for you once we went back to green. But by the time that lap 100 rolled round and you guys are exiting stage left, we were like, there's no way they're getting home on anything more than one stop, so they're going to have to stop twice.
100%, yeah. I think if you're pushing flat out without the slipstream around this track, I think we were getting around 15, 16 laps to a tank, to a half tank. But yeah, I think trying to stretch out that fuel is just going to be too much to ask for there at the end. We definitely needed to take some extra fuel on. I think I took about 24 litres or something like that on. So yeah, definitely wasn't going to be close, I don't think.
I just before I come back to you, I just want to update everybody. 10 minutes to go on the fourth quarter. Sydney 14.993 lead at Port Adelaide 8.11.59. So the Swans look like they're destined for the MCG next Saturday, you bloody beauty. And the Sharks have eliminated the Cowboys in the NRL 26-18 as well. Before I get back to, we've lost Josh Juno, Tim Watson there, of course, dealing with race control issues. We've got Greg Heaney, we've got Dave Oliver, we've got Aidan Luthwaite and Daniel Benefield here. Aidan, let me bring in your team boss. Greg Heaney, there's finally some silverware in the trophy cabinet, mate. What a marvellous season this young bloke's put together, and what a hairy night at the office that was.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. Yeah, I can't praise Aiden enough for the way he's driven it through this season. So onwards and upwards from here, and hopefully we can go again next season time round when the Indies are on. But being he does like his downforce cars, there's every chance he'll probably have a good crack at the SR8s next season. So yeah, we'll have to get some laps in that and see how we go. But yeah, as I said, I can't praise Aiden enough for the way he's driven it through this season. And he's nice to have some silverware and have him. He still hasn't given that dress yet. I think I need to send him a box of whiskey.
That's it. We're actually, Michael was commenting on the stream of the game tonight, mate. Says the whiskey's already on standby, ready to crack bottle. I was wondering if you might have had champagne to crack while we're at it.
No, well, it's a little bit hard to do that whilst I've got a headset straight face. I'm driving an Indycar at around 150 kilometres an hour. But no, I will definitely be going to pour myself one after this race. I mean, definitely not my best night at the office, but still an enjoyable race nonetheless. But yeah, we'll probably a little bit more practice time for myself to get that little bit quicker. But I shall persevere and push on, and we will go a bit further on. But I'm pretty sure Michael's probably cracked open a nice new bottle of whiskey. I know he was expecting a few more in the mail soon, but I don't know if they've turned up or not yet. But yeah, if he's got one next to him, I've no doubt he would have been probably having one or two refreshments whilst we're driving around, having some hairy moments, and probably just to calm his own nerves down.
Well, speaking of hairy moments, a couple of big ones for you tonight.
Yes. You should watch me climb the fence from the gyro camera, or at least from the driver's view. I didn't know what happened, and the next minute I'm looking at the track sideways.
Aren't you lucky though? In iRacing world, the fence stays intact. Had that been real world stuff, that fence would have been destroyed.
Yeah, I probably would have taken it with me. I hit it at a pretty decent clip.
I'll have a look at it. You were able to limp it back to the lane. I mean, we never saw you back on the lead lap for the rest of the night. But at least, unlike some, you were able to get back out there and soldier on, mate, and at least see it through as long as you could.
Yeah, definitely. I had a couple of pit lane infringements myself. I think there was the second one where I had to tow it back to the pits. Obviously reset the car back to the pit lane, take the tow, take the repair, fire the car back up, and then my pit limiter's off. So I hit up like 170 kilometres an hour down the pit lane. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. Yep. So yeah, that was pretty much straight back through to the pit lane again, and off we went. And yes, I was 6 laps down. I thought, well, being that I'm in this position that I am, off the second safety car restart in the position I was in, I was like, well, I've got a decent run. I'm just going to go for it and try and get towards Aiden as best I could to give him some assistance to maybe save a bit of fuel or whatever the case may have been. So, it was good to help out where I could. And, we'll move on to the next one.
Let me bring Aiden back in at this point. Coming back to you in a moment, Greg. And I appreciate Daniel Benefield sticking around. And I know Dave Oliver's a night owl, so that's all good. We won't stay on air too long tonight, guys. I've got a 4:30 alarm tomorrow morning, not just Nick Fodiatis. So, doing double time on radio this week. So it's going to be a nice juggle tomorrow morning. Aiden, going back to you. Greg mentioned, and we were already aware of your love of heavy downforce cars. But what is it particularly about the Indycar that has just suited you so well?
To be honest, I think just being able to be a little bit more aggressive with the turn-in and things like that, just having that extra front end, extra downforce, I reckon is really the main thing for me. But yeah, as you said, I'm typically definitely a little bit more competitive in the open wheelers / high downforce cars. I don't know. Yeah, I just really like it. Just really gels with me really well. Just having a good, nice front end that is nice and responsive. It really does it for me.
And now with this on the back burner for next term, I mean, Greg's already mentioned the SR8s, but what else will we see you throwing your hat into the ring for as far as our Term 4 offerings are concerned?
Definitely be there for the Radicals next Friday, next season for the Fridays. That sounds like a definite plan. GT3s as well, and I'll probably be in the Carrera Cup also.
Excellent. So keep your eyes peeled, ladies and gentlemen, for the blue and yellow cars. All next term. They're going to be front and centre just about every night we're on air. How do you plan to celebrate this victory, if you don't mind, apart from this magnificent end of race burnout show celebration that we saw on circuit, please?
To be honest, I'll probably have a couple of cold ones and probably stay up a little bit longer, considering it's a Friday, and yeah, see where the night goes.
Very nice. I like it. So now, how quickly do we put that to one side and focus on next term, and how quickly does the preparation for that start?
I'd say tomorrow, to be honest. Pretty early on, yeah. It's definitely something that I want to keep an eye on. You know, definitely want to be competitive next season again. So, yeah, practice will probably begin pretty early on, and try and get as much time in as I can before the season starts, and yeah, go from there.
All right, mate, very nicely done. And obviously, the chance to wear the number 1 on the car when the Indycar series is offered next, that must sit well with you?
Well, yes, 100%. I think if I given the opportunity, if we do Indycars later down the line again, I'll probably be rocking that number, yes.
And if you were to, have any say, and I don't need to remind you that your team boss is also a valued committee member here on the platforms of the GSRC, what tracks that we didn't see this season that we did see this season? What's your dream track list as far as Indycars are concerned? What's a circuit that you haven't seen that you'd like to have a crack at?
To be honest, I think, honestly, Spa, I reckon, was a really good sort of attraction for me. I really liked that track. Obviously, really liked the car as well. We ran that earlier in the season. Didn't really have the best result there, to be honest. Yeah, had an incident and, missed pitting under the safety car and a few other things. I'm not too sure, to be honest. I think Montreal, I reckon, would be a good option.
Agreed.
Yeah, Montreal's definitely a good track. As for any others, yeah, I think I'd have to have a sit down and think about it, to be honest, yeah.
All right, mate. Very nicely done. I could go on all night, but no one needs to hear us waffle on. Congratulations. Champion elect coming into the night. You had the advantage, you had the buffer, and you went out there and finished the job. Well done. The stage is yours, the floor is yours now to thank whoever you may need to see us out.
No, I'd just like to really thank everyone at the team for obviously supporting me throughout. Thanking Greg as well for supporting me too, and yeah, just all of our sponsors really as well. Yeah, Royal Flair Caravans and Bowens as well.
All right, mate, very nicely done. Congratulations again from all of us here. The last of our champions crowned this term on what has been a very big open wheel week for us on the platforms of the GSRC. Well done, and look forward to seeing you Monday, September 30.
100%. Cheers, Jack. Thank you.
It was interesting, wasn't it? Because of the amount of pit stops. I think there were 8 for most of these guys. That probably means that there may have been one double stint for at least a few of the competitors somewhere along the way there. Considering that Nick Fodiatis' advice to us earlier in the piece was that if you try and double stint them, you're going to be in all sorts of discomfort very late in the second stint. That was his advice. So I'm assuming that the amount of pit lane activity we saw, we would have seen just about every set on fresh rubber, which is just the way you like to see it. Get out there and go as bloody fast as you possibly can. Greg, how do you celebrate it as team boss, and how do you look to build on that as a selling point for recruitment, for one, but two, in terms of getting some success elsewhere in the club starting next term?
Well, firstly, it'll be certainly going downstairs to pour myself a whiskey.
Good boy.
And, yeah, I mean, in terms of recruitment, well, I mean, Aiden's just earned himself a nice bottle. I haven't figured out which one he's getting yet, and he hasn't sent me his address, so he's going to have to send me that, because otherwise it's going to end up at my place instead of his place.
Okay.
You're under that right now, Aiden. Yeah.
But just on your comments there, Zach, from the information you got from Nick Fodiatis, I think at one point I actually triple stinted a set of tyres and they were perfectly fine.
Yeah, righto. Righto. Interesting.
But, yeah, it was pretty good. Oh, there's the address. All right, well, that'll show up soon.
Press on Monday.
Well, yeah, we'll see what we can do. Yeah, as for recruitment, I mean, look, the more the merrier. I'm happy to have as many boys, as many guys, girls on the team as want to run for us. I mean, we're here for the long haul, and with any luck, we may have some more news to bring to the platforms of the GSRC, hopefully the next season, if not the start of 2025. So
excellent. And I'm across that news because you have actually mentioned it to me. So thank you for everything you've brought to the table this season in our post-race shows, and everything you brought to the table with regards to the work you're doing behind the scenes with the committee now that you're on board as well. Now, the second thing, I mean, you look at the rate of attrition around here tonight. Unfortunately, Fred found himself in the wars on a couple of occasions, started an incident and then got clean bowled in one as well.
Yeah, it was unlucky for Fred. I think the first one obviously involved Adam, and he was just like, "You've got to be kidding! I've done it again." But I think it may have been a move, the avoidance that eventuated in that one, and then the second one was an unfortunate rejoin, not a real good rejoin, which unfortunately Fred basically just threw in the towel at that point, being that it was obviously from in the last stint of the race was just green to the end, so he would not have been able to get back onto the lead lap after having a tow. I think the tows that I had, I think they were somewhere close to about 2 minutes. So you're looking at almost 3, possibly 4 laps per tow, with the field going around at 40-odd seconds a lap. So, but yeah, it was unfortunate for Fred. It would have been nice to have all 3 of us to finish the race, but yeah, we will try again next time.
Indeed we will. Now, how do you spend the next, what have we got? It's the 20th. So how do we spend the next 10 days preparing for Term 4 to Ignite?
Helping out with the guys in the committee as much as they need, with whatever needs to be done, and probably just neatening up and tidying up some more liveries for the cars. I don't think we've actually yet decided on what everybody's driving. I know there's a handful of us that are going to be driving McLaren, so at least that one's done and dusted. All the guys have seen that, and I know you haven't seen it yet, but you're not going to see it until next season.
That's fine. I can wait.
Yeah, but yeah, no. Well, yeah, I think we've all got to get through Bathurst yet, but yeah, no, it's tidying up a few more liveries. I know there's some talking amongst the team of some guys wanting to do some of the supercar stuff, so I've got to tidy up the Commodore livery. I've already got the Mustang done, but probably just neaten it up a touch and some other little bits and pieces here and there, and getting in some practice for myself, really, and yeah, just that's about it, really.
It's a full-time job being a team owner. Have a look at you go. Very nicely done, mate. Hey, thanks for your input and your efforts right throughout the course of the season. We do appreciate that. Go well, enjoy the celebrations, and looking forward to seeing a number 1 on the Whiskey Business racing car of Aidan Luthwaite next time we go racing Indycar style on the platforms, the GSRC. Enjoy the weekend. Go well. We'll see you Monday, September 30.
No worries, and thank you, Zach and Joe, for putting on the broadcast and so forth for this season.
No worries at all, Greg. Thank you.
But the Sydney Cricket Ground has erupted right now, Joe Trucker Baldwin, because the Swannies are off to the big dance. 6 goals to the good, 14-11-95 to 8-11-59 over Port Adelaide. Big thanks to Aidan Luthwaite and Greg Heaney. Now, race winner, Daniel Benefield, welcome in. 9th different winner of the season, which seems only appropriate for 9.5 Sim Sport, given the prevalence of the number 9 there. Congratulations, mate. I mean, you were there from the outset. You were second on the grid. You chopped and changed in and out of the lead most of the night. Strategy went your way. Everything fell into the right place at the right times. Avoided any carnage that happened in and around you and mostly behind you, and had to be in the right position when it mattered, but it was only by a whisker, trying to fend off Chris Noble, who came from out of the clouds on the closing lap. Have we got you, Daniel? You might need push to talk, mate.
Yeah, pizza too, mate.
He's just working that out for us now. Have we got you now, mate?
There he is.
There we go. If you remember the question, because I'm distracted by the Swans. Otherwise, I've got to try and reword it. Go for it, mate. Well done on the race win.
Yeah, it was I thought since Chris had a go at Phil going into one last lap, I might have had. I didn't have as much as a gap as I thought I would with him going side by side. So I was surprised with how close he got into 3. But I managed to hold it, just barely, by a bee's dick, I guess we could say.
Yes, yeah, we can definitely say that at this time of the night. It's 10:15. We're good.
Yep. But no, it was the last safety car really that saved me, because the drop back, the guys that pitted at the end of the first safety car, like twice essentially.
Yep.
They were pretty much set up to go one less stop, so that second portion pretty much neutralised the field really on strategy, and then it was a flat out sprint.
It's very faint at your end, mate, but I can still hear you, so hopefully everybody else at home can as well. Some great racing there. I mean, you guys were fully aware of the fact that quite a few of you were in this race purely for the sake of it's Indycar, it's Indianapolis. There were no championship implications for you guys, but to have the benchmark in Aiden Luthwaite push you guys all the way, Adam Lavis in there as well. How'd you go about approaching the race from, race strategy, among other things, considering that for you guys, this was just a win it or bin it scenario, but you knew that there were a couple of championship contenders that were going to be in and around you all night long?
It was more like just playing the fuel game really until like the last stint. The timing of the last safety car though pretty much meant it was flat out a bit earlier than that. But yeah, it was a lot of playing the fuel game early on. I don't think I really led the race at all in the first, other than maybe a lap or two at the end of the stint. But in the first half of the race, I think I barely led the race, which was according to plan.
Very nicely done. Talk to me about where we're going to see you popping up and racing with us next term, mate, because obviously you found a very sweet spot here in the IndyCar, but we know that's not being offered next term. I'm sure you're aware of all the other offerings, the Porsche, the GT3, the GT4, the Supercar. What's your niche outside of the IndyCar?
It'll be GT3. The GT3 is my niche. This was more of a fling in the sand.
Yeah.
Because it's Indy at Indy, and I enjoy the IndyCar, but Indianapolis Motor Speedway is just something else in this thing. But it'd be GT3 with probably Porsches, but our focus will be GT3 for sure.
The final lap, we mentioned Chris Noble earlier. That was a Herculean effort from him to get as close as he did. I said not 5 laps earlier that it was going to be a game of cat and mouse, wasn't it? Where you positioned yourself on that final lap, where you wanted to be coming onto the main straight to the checkered flag. And I thought that if you wanted to win it, you had to lead it off turn 3, and you were able to do that by the skin of your teeth.
Yeah, well, that's what the kind of last stint or two was with Phil and Aiden was working out where I wanted to be, whether I wanted to be leading into 3 or second, or leading out of 4 or second coming out of 4. I know it was a bit of hit. I feel like I could have made either work, to be honest. I think given the massive defensive block I threw going into 3, I wanted to lead out of 4. I think that was preferred, but there was a few laps. It was about 50-50 when I was second coming out of 4 as to whether or not I was ahead at the line or not.
Yep.
But I figured with the weaving that you normally see on the last lap at Indy that it probably wasn't going to happen. So I think leading into 3 and out of 4 was definitely the better side to be on, and it was, I guess, by 100th.
Yeah, exactly. Fine margins, no doubt about that. All right, mate. Well done. Anyone you want to thank while you're here?
Just our sponsors at 9.5, so Racecraft, Turn In Apparel, RSW, Graphics, Racing Ears, and Prestige Photography. Unfortunately, we didn't actually get to see the livery tonight, mainly because we don't have an Indycar livery. So funny that supercar team that's just started GT doesn't have an Indycar livery.
Come on, McNamara, get onto it, please, would you? And fantastic. I love it. Hey, actually, I mean, I've already mentioned it once or twice tonight. I don't usually do cross promotion, but how's the stable looking for Sunday, mate? Any word, any intel?
That's a secret.
Yeah.
No, I think the guys are looking forward to it. Obviously, you always, if you enjoy the supercar, you always look forward to a 1000. But obviously, it's such a tough field. But no, the guys are looking good. They're looking forward to it. But as always, the race itself on its own is always a challenge. Never mind in that caliper field that we'll see on Sunday.
Well, that's exactly right. If you aren't doing anything over the weekend, obviously GSRC's got a weekend off, so I can say this: if you're not doing anything over the weekend, and you want to watch a couple of our club members, including Brenton Hobson, that's the big storyline. Hobbo's not even on the grid this weekend. Work commitments have got in the way for him. But a couple of our mates from the sim racing world will be on the grid, and a couple of our mates from the real world will be on the grid, including two-time XL national champion Ethan Grigott. He's on the grid this weekend. They've got the qualifying and shootout tomorrow night. They've got the race on Sunday all day long. Logitech Pro Invitational Supercar Series Bathurst 1000 for you, the final round of their Enduro Cup. And I'm jumping in the booth with Scotty Rankin and Sandman for the course of the day. So for about 7 hours, I apologise in advance because Rankin can go punch for punch with me on the volume stakes, and we're just going to see which one of us runs out of puff first, I think. So it's going to be good fun. Well done, Daniel Benefield. Congratulations, mate, on the win. Now, you mentioned GT3, so how much time do you guys spend between now? Obviously, a lot of your stable's focusing on Bathurst this weekend, quite rightly so, but then in the next week that follows, in the lead up to the start of the GT3 season, Monday, September 30, how much time and investment gets spent on that, and anything else that you might be throwing your hat into the ring for, like the Porsche, for instance, next term? So how much preparation, how much practice, how much car prep, and how much car research is going on with regards to, you might want to drive a McLaren, but you might say, actually, no, the Porsche is probably better for me. Where's the time and focus and energy for the next 10 days?
Well, Porsche will be arrive and drive, so let's just get that out of the way first. Very good. I really, it's okay like to drive, but I much prefer driving GT3. GT3 will be dependent when the schedule comes out. Once we have a schedule, then it'll be about working out what car is probably better on the BOP for the schedule. In reality, for me, it'll either be Ferrari or McLaren, because I don't really like the feel of anything else.
Well, I was going to say, you went all right in the Ferrari last time I saw you, wasn't it?
Yeah, but given the early, because I've already done a little bit of testing between like Ferrari versus McLaren, and the McLaren's looking pretty good, but I love the Ferrari, and that's my issue. But it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, once there's a schedule, I can do some more in-depth testing as to which way I want to go on that front.
All right, mate, very nicely done. We're going to let you go so you can do that. Congratulations on a great performance tonight, and looking forward to seeing what you bring to the table as everyone chases after Matty Dench and tries to stop him from reeling in and claiming title number 12 on the GT3 front, and title number 11 in the Porsches as well. Go well for the next few days. Good luck to the stable on Sunday, and we'll see you on September 30.
Thanks, guys, and as always, thanks to the committee and everyone behind GSRC. It's obviously a mammoth effort to get 4 seasons done in the year, and get most of it broadcasted as well. So thanks to the committee and everyone behind the scenes for putting everything on.
No, it's our pleasure. And I'm sure I'm going to give Joe the final word on that in just a few moments' time as El Presidente. But not before we get to Dave Oliver. Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate that. Hey, Dave, just quickly to finish off, because I'm just looking at the clock, 10:30. I'm not sure if Joe's even had his KFC yet, so...
I don't eat KFC anymore.
Oh, have they closed down, Joe?
They have, yeah. As soon as I stopped buying
Run out
Zinger
of business.
burgers.
Oh dear. No, we do know there's a reason for that, and you're looking after yourself. Good on you. I even scoffed down a couple of cinnamon donuts before dinner. I didn't get a chance to cook anything, so it was just whatever I could find that was cheap and easy. But Dave, well done. I mean, you got back to 8th in the end, not before a big one. But 3rd on the grid, mate. So you had some great one-lap pace there.
Can't hear you, Dave.
Lights are on and no one's home.
It's lighting up, mate. Nothing's coming through.
It's like a strobe light. It's lighting up, but nothing's there. Have we got Dave? We'll wait and we'll give this 30 seconds. If we've got him, we've got him. If we're not, we'll just have to wrap it up. Hello, mate. You there? It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all.
Hello.
All right. There he is.
There he is.
What have you done wrong?
Oh, I just had to start and old F4 the old headphones there.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was a good race. I finally decided to qualify properly for once. And struck myself with a P3, which is, I was only very minutely off pole. So I think it was 0.04 or something extremely close like that. So yeah, it was good. And I don't know, it was an interesting start, like that first quarter. I'm not sure how much experience the guys at the front had or what fuel modes they were running, but even 4 or 5 cars back, we were 6 gear, fuel map 5, and I was quarter throttle, even having to clutch into some of the corners because we're going that slow. So it was a bit of an interesting one. So, and then as soon as someone with a bit of pace got up front, the pace picked up by a second and a half, 2 seconds a lap, which is kind of funny.
Yep. There was not, and the trains, the slipstream trains, were exceptionally long tonight at various different points as well. So that just brought everybody along, and the pace went with it. But talk us through the back end of the race, mate, and whether you're happy or not with 8th.
Well, I had I think it was probably about halfway through, there was hit the fence and coming together at turn 1, unfortunately, and from there I was kind of by myself essentially for quite a while, and I was just kind of wondering if there was going to be that second safety car or not, and luckily there was. So of course just after I did one of my stops, and so from there I was able to get back to the pack and get the lap back, and then we kind of was working together with Nick and Adam for a while there. We're kind of doing the old shake and bake slingshot back and forth down the front and back straight. But yeah, it was just a case of at the end there, with the last stop, it was only, only needed 20 litres, 25 litres of fuel, and it wasn't enough to cover tyres. So the tyres pretty much went off by the end there, unless it was from a slight wall hit or something like that. So I was nearly up with the boys, and then had a back marker come in and kind of take the aero away and kind of drop back, and then it was just, second last corner. I was trying, just in case something happened up the front, because you're only 3-4 seconds behind the leaders, kind of kept it pinned, and I kind of stupidly cranked the weight jacker up just in case, because it was understeering a bit. But yeah, I think I definitely over cranked it to 11, figure of speech, and yeah, the thing just unfortunately went Tokyo drift on me and into the inside fence there, and then luckily I was able to crawl it back there with a few was a bit close there, but both front wheels were a bit pointing different directions, but it was a case of unfortunately dropped from, I think it was 5th to 8th there, and a lap down, unfortunately. But hey, it is what it is. I'm fairly happy with that, or fairly happy until that second last corner there.
Now that you know that you've got good one-lap pace and you've got the potential to qualify properly, is there any opportunity or chance that we'll actually see that become part of your weekly racing ritual going forward, or are you just going to wing it again?
Oh, I don't know. It's a bit of a wing it kind of thing, especially with these cars, and especially knowing that we've got that. It's a bit of a weird one. It's like kind of knowing that you've got that safety car.
Yeah.
It's just a case of, okay, try sit at the back, try save fuel kind of thing, and kind of see how it goes from there. But yeah, I don't know. I got a mate who's probably listening now, and he gives me so much crap for not qualifying well, and it's pretty funny. So, but yeah, I'll try to do better, Pete. So.
Oh dear, that's very nicely done. Josh Zuno, what a way to wrap the season. I agree with that. We've got Daniel Yeaman just standing on by to quickly have a chat with us as well. Whether I'm not sure whether he wants to have a chat with us regarding the drive tonight and the way it all fell apart, or whether he wants to have a chat with me regarding Sunday. Either or, we'll get to Dan in just a moment. But finishing with you, Dave, because we're running out of time here, mate. What's the next 10 days look like, and what are you throwing your hat into the ring for next season?
I need to have a bit of a look. Might still stick with GD, do some GD3. Might have a look at the new McLaren. Might have to get that and have a bit of a play. I was on that borderline with the pace, so I think I've actually been dropped to Pro-Am, so see what happens with that. And yeah, might even give the trucks a bit of a crack, so that can kind of be like the non-downforce Indy fix for a while. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the trucks go on the couple ovals and the road courses, because you pretty much got to look after those tyres, otherwise they turn into marshmallows. So.
All right, mate, very nicely done. All the best with what's coming up in the next 10 days. Well done on the result tonight, and look forward to seeing you throughout the course of next term. Go well.
No worries. Thanks again to Joe and to Nick and all that for putting on the season, and especially Joe for the broadcasts in the season and that. And yeah, pretty happy with the top 5 there in the points. So. Unfortunately, I missed last round, but it is what it is, and yeah, see how we go next time. Thanks again.
Thanks, mate. Well done. I appreciate
pleasure,
that.
mate.
Let's have a look at the championship standings there, Joe. There they are. Oh boy, need to have a chat to this bloke on air now, because look at that, up 6 spots tonight, top 10 for the season for Daniel Yeaman, and I'm just scrolling through my run sheet here to have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds missed. We only saw him on the track 5 times, and he's nabbed the top 10 of the championship. Aidan Luke Lake, the winner, 36th the margin. Adam Lavis then. Chris Noble got up to 3rd, displaced Fred Kahn. Dave Oliver got a top 5 finish. Aaron Russell jumped up to 6th. 307 for Noble, 275 for Kahn, 255 for Oliver, 240 for Russell, 231 for Heaney, 221 for Wood, Zamora 202 and Yeaman 195. And geez, Daniel, all the ingredients were there. You set it up perfectly. You're in the mix. You're right there when the whips were cracking, and unfortunately just got caught up in somebody else's garbage.
Yeah, unfortunately so indeed. I mean, yeah, just that opening part of the race was just committing to the fuel save and seeing what we could eke out of the tank. Didn't actually know how far we could go flat out until I ran the numbers after I'd wrecked. So we were just happily, Dylan and I, coasting around, managing fuel. As I heard Dave say, yeah, running fuel map 5, which is the most efficient of the fuel maps when you're running around in race conditions. And yeah, just off the throttle, a good punch at the time. But yeah, just unfortunately right in that vortex of danger. In behind Liam's, it turned out, and so obviously no hard feelings with him. He's just unfortunately bounced off the wall there in front of me, and I've just been the first car that's in an unavoidable spot.
Mate, he didn't bounce. It was like he was on a bloody jumping castle. I've never seen anything quite like it.
Yeah, unfortunately, the walls can be cruel at tracks like this, especially at speed. So even though they probably not so elastic in the real world, is something that unfortunately you have to get used to when you're running around here on the sim. And unfortunately, yeah, just it did its job of stopping him from going to the left. It just meant that it dispatched me straight back to the right.
Yes, exactly. Stopped him from going into the crowd, but caused 3 times as big a carnage as what it would have otherwise. Extraordinary. Disappointing way to end the run, mate, but still, you got back out there and you brought it home in 11th.
Yeah, sort of was set aside. I mean, look, yeah, sure, it was, I think at that point it was about 40, 35 laps to go, but at that point we could knock them out quickly enough, and with unfortunately with it coming after the final comp caution, no interruptions coming up, it wouldn't take too long. And whilst, yeah, in the end, I think I maybe picked off 2 or 3 drivers who retired late with their own troubles, which meant I didn't get any passing done on track for position. Thought might as well just finish it off. As it turns out, I wasn't even aware of where the championship might have ended up, so a little bonus surprise there to bring home a top 10 for the season on a part-time run, and yeah, just good to be able to get some more laps in this car. It's a thing that yeah, just always had in the back of my mind as a car that I appreciate. So it is a shame that yeah, I've been able to jump in here just as it's going to take another break to rotate through some of the other cars here for the GSRC. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes open on when this comes back or where else I can maybe race it.
Yeah, and on that subject, mate, anything else in our offering, Porsche GT3, that's going to work in nicely with your schedule to have a crack at?
Mondays and Wednesdays at this stage might work out for me. We'll do my best to keep it open to maybe tackle the double on both occasions if I'm lucky. At the very least, Monday nights will probably be the prime target with GT3, and if I can make it work, yeah, do the double with the move of LMP2 Challenge to the early slot on Monday nights. And Wednesdays, yeah, if that works too for me. Although that might also be yeah, schedules permitting with yes, other series, yeah, not running at times.
I was going to say there's a couple of rounds that clash that I can think of.
Yes, but all things considered, I mean, these days, yeah, with the Logic G presentation, I'm currently on backup, not so much the active commentator, or broadcaster. So thankfully, I've got a bit of flexibility there. But yeah, might be able to try and have a whirl in the trucks, maybe even whip the V8 out and see how much of a scrub I am compared to the teammates of mine that actually do drive the thing.
And on that subject, make sure you get some sleep before Sunday, because that's going to be a marathon day and we're looking forward to it immensely. Must have been nice to be able to convert road course speed into oval speed and be at the front and be in contention and lead a few laps here. I mean, there were a few ring-ins in the field tonight, but you've surmounted yourself as somewhat of a regular now.
Oh, it's generous, thank you. I mean, I think the main thing is because we were so fuel limited, the fuel strategy was so important, because even saving fuel, it wasn't too hard to keep up with anyone who tried to make a break for it. So didn't see a need to really try and force the issue early on there, and that probably did help a little bit. But in saying that, was pretty happy with qualifying to end up at the pointy end of the field, which is where I was kind of hoping I could stay most of the race. So yeah, just clearly not too far off, which is a bit of a bonus. I mean, it does help that when you're in qualifying trim here, it is flat out. It's just then you are chasing such perfect margins to make improvements around this place in quality trim.
Indeed. Hey, very well done, mate. Appreciate you stopping by to have a chat with us at the end here. And feel free to stick around and we'll chat for a couple of minutes off air as well. And the big weekend, starting with 500Ks here, only about to get bigger and busier, and we're looking forward to that. Well done. Look forward to seeing you next term, mate. I know you're going to be busy in between time, so I won't bother asking that question. I feel as though we've already covered that off, and we'll catch up.
Thanks for it, Zach, and yeah, all the best for everyone busy this weekend as well, indeed.
Oh yes, it starts for me tomorrow morning. I'm on the double shift on West Bremer, 6 to 9 a.m. on the radio channel, and then 9 till 1 on the sports channel, and then a couple of hours sleep. The AFL preliminary final, and then I'm just planning on sleeping as much as I can that night. Get up early, watch a replay of the boys doing their best work with the top 10 shootout and qualifying, and then rip into it for the day with them on Sunday. We're at the end of the road, and I'm going to get Joe Baldwin to give his final thoughts on it in just a few moments' time, but we couldn't do any of what we do here on the platforms of the GSRC. Monday, what have we been on? We've had Tuesday nights, we've had Wednesday nights, we've had predominantly Mondays, Thursdays and Fridays throughout the course of this season. We do it with thanks to those people scrolling across the top and bottom of your screen. I mean, they are an integral part of what we do because they continue to support it and encourage it and endorse it. So a big thanks to Waste Options, to Sprite Insider, to merch.tgsrci.com, Orbit Australia, Loadsy Racing, M-Wave Australia, and Flash Graphics. Trucker, there's no schedule to run through yet because we don't know where we're racing and what formats we're running just yet, but we do know that we're back on September 30. I'll let everybody know week one's schedule in terms of the offerings, which nights, what category, etc., in just a few moments' time. But there's the merch store, of course, as well, ladies and gentlemen. So merch.tgsrci.com for all your paraphernalia with the GSRC embroidery on it. And race.tgsrci.com if you want to know how to get involved and how to get amongst it and how to sign up and the do's and don'ts and the ifs and buts and maybes of the category and the club.
And for any of the members, so Greg Heaney, this one's for you. If you go on there, you can actually get shirts made with your own team logos as well through our store. So, any of the guys that are team owners, team members or whatever, there's instructions in there on how to do it. Chris Stark and some of the guys that have been involved in setting up that merch store have done a great job, and there's a lot of great offerings there. So get on it and support the club, support your team.
Support the club that supports you. We say it all the time. Hey, mate, we've spoken at length about the fact that this is year number 5 for the club. That was term 3 of 2024. That was season 18 in total. The club, it feels as though it just goes from strength to strength to strength. The membership numbers reflect that. The turnouts that we see in all of our various different categories on all nights of the week certainly back it up as well. From your standpoint, this is your opportunity as the president of the club to have the final word on the term. I mean, it's been an extraordinarily strange way to finish it off because we had grand final week last week and then we came back for a grand final tonight, handed in a club challenge in the middle, and we finally won one of those bloody things.
We did.
It's been a really special fortnight, hasn't it?
It has. Look, congratulations to Sam Chapman, who took out the Australian Open Wheel Nationals on Wednesday night in what was an amazing race, and thanks to you as well, Zach. You stepped up and put a great show on from our side, and along with the team at SRW. I think that that's one of those things that can go from strength to strength with the club. So to Doug Gowans, who actually put the seed of thought into the head of our guys to go ahead. Josh Wino, his absolutely relentless work on making that happen, and there was Dean Sinkovich, Hamish Munro, Hutto, and Steve Sinker over there. They're just some of the many names that made that happen, and absolutely showed the strengths of both clubs. Joining forces and get involved in a great initiative that we're going to take forward in the future. But I'd have to say that this last season we're probably coming off back of one of our strongest seasons for 24C. So it's I'd say it's going to be hard to top next season, but it's actually not, because the amount of work and the team we got, with the new committee that we've got there now, which it's an amazing group of guys, and the guys that were involved in the committee over the last 12 months as well. They've just done fantastic job all around, and all. It's hard to remember every name, but everyone who's been involved in the back end have done a fantastic job. And I've always said, I'm not the boss around here at all. I'm just, I'm just involved in I'm just a part of the cog that makes it work, and I think we're doing a pretty good job at the moment. So the numbers reflect that, and some of the new guys, having Dan Newman and a lot of these guys are pretty well known in the iRacing industry down under, like in Australia. That are coming on board and racing with us is great to see. So I still feel that as a club we're going forward, and you've been there every step along the way. So personally, big thanks to you as well, Zach. You've been along for the ride from day one. So
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So definitely pretty excited to see where it's going. Adam Maverick, he had a bit of a rough night tonight. He couldn't get on on
poor
terms
bloke.
with Aiden after his early race. But you know, Chris Noble, he's had a third in this championship, and he won the LMP2 championship, I think. Yeah, he won those. So yeah, it's been a great season all round, and yeah, we got the likes of Matt Dent. So if anybody wants to win in that, they're probably going to have to go around and break his ankles or something like that.
That's right.
Yeah, he's the class of the field. So, but that gives everybody a target, right? You know, when we get the next season. So. I'm really happy with the way the club's going at the moment, and I'm certainly excited and looking forward to season 24D. I think season 19 overall.
That's it. And I mean, you're on the right side of the continent with regards to getting a bit of a sleep in tomorrow morning, unlike some of us.
We've even got a long weekend this weekend. So.
I know. I mean, don't get me started though on poorly placed long weekends, Joe, because there's a few of them around at the moment. Not least up here in the alleged Sunshine State. Hey, well done to you. Well done to all the. I mean, Joe's mentioned the committee, all of our race controllers, our stewards, our sponsors. Our broadcasters. It's not just Joe and me. There's a long list of people. Daniel Correa-Sarr. Specifically, we need to highlight Adam Lavis, because none of he is the cog in the wheel. He's the one that turns it all in motion.
Absolutely.
Ready for the likes of Sam Chapman, Josh Zuno, Daniel Correa-Sarr, Joe Baldwin to come in and pick up the freight and broadcast it so that he can actually go and enjoy himself racing. Liam Banks has offered his hand and offered his voice to the club with guest commentary or deputising for me when I've had to have nights off for other commitments or just, social leisure, which wasn't an issue a couple of years ago when we first started, of course. This was our social leisure, quite frankly. So, no, a big thanks to all those people, because without them, put simply, none of it happens.
This wouldn't happen. That's right.
But they're all responsible for the fact that we're here. The drivers put on the show that entertains us here in the booth and you at home as well. I mean, we're only as good as the racing that they put on the screen. And I have to say, as Joe's already alluded to, throughout the course of this season, it has been red hot. There have been more nights that we've walked away thinking, oh, geez, how bloody good was that? Rather than, oh, geez, that was a bit of a stinker or a bit of a snore or a bit of a bore. So, I mean, that says everything about how competitive things have become, how consistently entertaining things have become here on the platforms of the GSRC, and we can't wait to do it again on September 30. Joe?
Look, I'm proud to see where the club's gone from its inception. 5 years in, I think we're at the end of this next season. We're right on the 5-year mark. So, excited to see where it's going to go from here. Should be great. Yeah, and thank you to every one of the committee members, all the club members. The sponsors, the guys in the background that just work without thanks. The guys that have moved on from the committee. Matto, he's now a life member. And he's in the steam company with Adam Maverick. They're the two first guys that have been in there. So congratulations to Matto for his induction at the AGM this season, which fell in the middle of this season. So. To Mav, Chapo, Josh, the amount of work he does is incredible. There's Dan, Correa-Sarr, like you said, there's just so many guys that make it all work in the background, and everybody has their part to play. It's that old thing, change only as strong as its weakest link, and we got a lot of strong links. So
indeed we do.
Thank you to all of them.
And before we wrap it up and sign off, you mentioned Pete Matson. All our love to him as well. As he wasn't on the grid tonight. He's not been on the grid for the last couple of weeks. He's just taking good care of himself, and we're hoping to see him back fighting fit next term, because he's got a Norvik Australia stock car truck series to offer
he does.
On the platforms of the GSRC, and we're looking forward to that. But put simply, like people say to me all the time, why do you keep doing this stuff? I mean, surely you can get better paying work or whatever the case may be. We've still got 5 years in, and Daniel would be able to relate to this as well. We've still got people that are like, oh, that's not real, that's rubbish, but the audience is growing. The footprint is growing. The interest is growing. That's reflected by the fact that we've got things like a Bathurst 1000 on Sunday, where supercar drivers that are going to go and do the real thing in 3 weeks' time are lining up as co-drivers on the grid here.
It's practice, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The sim racing world is growing. It's made its mark. It's made its impact. It's staying, and that's much to our benefit because we get to sit here and enjoy it. It was one of those things that came along and just attracted a few more people, reeled a few more people in COVID, and it's stuck around and become a constant in our lives because, like the real world thing, it's an addictive drug once you get hold of it. And on that subject, can I say as well, we wouldn't be here if we didn't enjoy it, but put simply, furthermore, we wouldn't be here without the great support of the sponsors, the dedication of the committee members that insist that we get, a good quota of races up on broadcast, and the drivers who continue to show up and put on the show. That's as simple as I can put it at the end of the season. We've had great fun. We sincerely hope that you have as well. Daniel Benefield, your winner tonight. Aidan Luthwaite, your champion as the Road to Indy series wraps up on night 5 of week 11. Yes, week 11 of the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club in term 3 of 2024. Well done to the club and the representatives, particularly Chapo, on the performance they put in the other night, winning the Interclub Challenge against the guys from SRW. They're already trying to line up a rematch before we get to this time next year, so it won't be annual anymore. It'll be,
quarterly
a regular quarterly constant. Yeah, exactly. So it looks as though that's a relationship that's thriving and flourishing, which is what we like to see. And it's nice to be on the winning side of a ledger of an Interclub Challenge for the first time as well. Good luck to everyone racing on Sunday. Good luck to everyone throughout the course of school holidays and the upcoming week off. And the pre-season tuning and testing and tweaking and everything else that's going to happen between now and, of course, Monday, September 30. Remember, folks, we go from 3 civilized time zones to 5 that have people all around the world scratching their bloody heads on the end of week 1 of term 4, and not least leaves one commentator rather disgruntled and frustrated. So there will be some slightly amended broadcast times and details there to pay attention to, but we'll bring that more info on that to you in due course. But all I can tell you is this. Monday night, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. GT3 stays in the main course, ably supported by LMP2 this time round. Tuesday night, introductory formula leads into Super Formula Light. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Wednesday night, completely overhauled, so it must have been broken. NASCAR Oz Trucks, with thanks to our good friends at Orbit Australia. That'll be in the entree slot, followed by the return of supercars to prime time. They've been a supporting act to GT3 throughout the course of the year. They've been a good return support category. They went away for a little bit. They've come back in an entree capacity. Now a return, a promotion back to prime time to the main course. Thursday night, GT4. Unfortunately, the consequence is that, to bring one in, you got to have one out. That's the unlucky one. Candidate that gives way here. It becomes an entree to a Porsche Cup main course, so it's staying right where it was, and the SR8s are in here on a Friday night in a second Downforce Legends series offering for the new term. Mountain Men stays on Saturday nights, and that's all she wrote. Hope you enjoyed Friday Night Motorsport on the platforms, the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, the Sharks over the Cowboys in the NRL, the Swans are off to the granny over Port Adelaide in the AFL. Formula One's underway in Singapore. MotoGP's coming up this weekend as well. NASCAR too. So there's still lots to look forward to in the real world and the virtual world over the next 48 to 72 hours. We sincerely hope that you'll enjoy all of that. We trust that you've enjoyed what we brought you tonight. Thanks so much for your company, Australia. And we look forward to doing it all again on the platforms of the GSRC across Facebook, Twitch and YouTube, live, exclusive and free. Monday, September 30 for Term 4 of 2024. And as Joe said, Season 19 for the club. Until then, on behalf of all the crew here, Zach Coben wishing you a very good weekend, everybody. Bye for now.